Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome to AD2L Season 43 Champion League Week 2 matchup between Backdoor, Bandits, and Dork. My name is Finnick, joined by Oblivion KC, and we are ready to go. Covering Champion this season. Did a game of Heroic in the first week, but I will be covering Champion throughout the rest of the season. And we're going to do it with a couple of friends in Dork, just to keep things a little bit easy for us research-wise, but also Backdoor Bandits made up of a lot of AD2L veterans from back in the WSS Hellbears being in champ days. So excited to see how this goes. Oblivion KC, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Honestly, a little bit worried because I haven't been playing that much Dota, but you know, I feel like, or at least what I heard, the meta is pretty much the same, except with Bloodseeker. So I think I'll do okay. We'll find out. But I see we've already got bans on Earthshaker and Phoenix. I know that Dork played Earthshaker both games last series, so they Backdoor Bandits are not ready for that. They said no, not today.
Yeah, they played at position 4, not mid lane. A little bit weird to see the 4 Earthshaker instead of mid shaker, but definitely up Humble Korean's alley, and thus will go quite well for him. We see the other bands coming through. We see a Darkseer, Luna. The second pick side has much in the way of doesn't have much in the way of flexibility in terms of keeping heroes open. We see both Lina and Lich are available, which kind of says Backdoor Bandits can ban one and then pick the other here, and Dork isn't as afraid of that pick necessarily. A lot of these seem to be more targeted bans in favor of Dork.
You know, now that you mention it, I didn't even think about it, but definitely with Lina where she's at in the meta, she's definitely first pickable. Usually it's not, you know, go-to to pick your mid first, but when they're broken and can one hit pretty much any hero, it's worth it. Okay.
So we go for the Clockwork.
That's a deny pick too.
It is a deny pick up against Crash, but also just generally speaking, very strong support right now. They did ban Dawnbreaker. I'm not exactly sure if Dork plays that one support or if it's 3, but either way, they go ahead and first pick the Dragon Knight, so there will be a Viper ban coming their way from Dork. But either way, Backdoor Bandits. Interesting that both Lina and Lich were available first phase, as well as Bloodseeker, and none of those 3 got picked, and it was the Dragon Knight from Dork.
Bloodseeker is one of those I don't think is first pickable, because you can pick around it. And Lina's, I mean, you can kind of sort of pick around it, but she's going to do what she's going to do regardless. So, I mean, I feel like Bloodseeker, while he's, you know, pretty much considered broken, he's not first pick broken. At least not yet. We'll see.
I mean, in a lot of ways he kind of is, I think, but regardless, Dork, interestingly, I know this about their captain Angry Sun, isn't afraid of Phantom Assassin into Dragon Knight despite the 1400 gold break. Typically, I see a lot of players at my MMR kind of ban away the PA when they pick this Dragon Knight, but either way, Dork, this is definitely something that they can flex. I do know Angry Sun has played DK in the mid lane in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised if after banning Viper here, which they pretty much have to ban, they could keep this as a flex as they have 24th pick. They can really play around the fact that they can play this in multiple positions. Abba and Magnus, though, banned away by Backdoor and Bandits.
Yeah, the Abba would have been a really strong pickup about Dork. That would be a very tanky team. And the more you can keep that Dragon Knight alive and the more you can waste their DPS, the more damage that Dragon Knight gets to dish out in these fights. So it's a good ban by them. And there's the Bloodseeker ban that we were talking about. But interestingly, the Viper and PA still left out.
Yeah, again, Dork doesn't really mind the PA, or their captain doesn't, so it's interesting that the Viper is still on the table. Pretty easy access to breaks, can kind of mess over Dragon Knight's inherent tankiness, but They picked the Zeus, kind of one of the premier position 5s right now.
That's a lot of damage.
It is a lot of damage, and it's a lot of utility that comes in from Pos 5. I would assume this is a Pos 5 Zeus. They played it last week, if I'm not mistaken. No, they didn't play it last week. Either way, I think the hero is just best as position 5 right now.
I have seen them play it, so okay. At least the heroes played it, or the players played it recently. So, but I do think the reason why they're not banning out the breaks right now is because they don't necessarily need to defend this Dragonite pick, because they can just put it wherever they need to, depending on how the draft plays out, which I think is a really smart draft strategy. And then there's the Lich, which is just, golly, that hero. It's oh lord, I hate seeing it in my pubs. That damage reduction is just infuriating.
Yeah, the damage reduction is extremely infuriating. Also, Chain Frost plus Pillar
Chain Frost,
such... I mean, every couple patches, they buff Lich, and then Lich is very good. And then they realize how oppressive it is when Lich is very good, and then they nerf it. They go ahead and pick up the Lina. I think this was kind of their strategy of not banning the Viper, is that they think that Backdoor Bandits are going to pick that Lina in the mid lane regardless. And it's just, they don't think that they're going to pick the Viper here, because the Lina is up, the Lich is up, the top 2 heroes in the meta are both available. Backdoor Bandits are going to pick this. Dork Horse let both these heroes through as second pick, so I assume they have answers to this. I'm curious as to what they think those answers are.
Beef. If I had to guess, just big beefy boys and sustained damage. Because you don't want full committal against a Lich. That can put you in a really dangerous position, and then you want stuff that's survivable against the Lina burst damage. So I know that they played a lot of Tidehunter. I think Tidehunter's pretty good right now. It's a good disengage too, if they need to get away from the clockwork. Okay, Mars is another good disengage and or initiation. So I think it's a very flexible pick. And it's also beefy. But
it is beefy. It is also a hero that I'm very concerned whenever I see it being picked.
That's fair. It's a feast or famine hero, for sure.
It is very much a feast or famine hero. There was a while when it was one of the most picked position 3s in the entirety of Dota, and it had a very bad win rate in competitive 5v5, like something like 80% presence or something, with like a 45% win rate or something in Pro Dota. And I've said, unless your name is Amar, you should not be picking this hero. I still kind of stand by that. I still think it's very feast or famine. Maybe Goppy is able to, or Hina, I think is actually his name for esports, will be able to make me think that he's a very good Mars player, unless that they can pick this. But it's typically, you kind of have to be a specialist on the hero to be very good on it. It is very feast or famine, and I'm not exactly sure if this is the type of hero you want to be playing into Alina, who, if Lina gets behind Mars, can still one-shot him with the combo, right?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the one thing that I'm seeing from Backdoor Bandits is that they are somewhat squishy right now, and this Lina, if they get the jump on her, especially with a blink on the DK into a Mars ulti, she just dies. Obviously they have the Lich to kind of disrupt that, but if he goes that fast, that prevents Lich from getting the frost shield off on her, that's a quick kill on Alina.
The unfortunate thing is, based on this draft, it is a very obvious life stealer game for Backdoor Bandits. You see 2 strength cores on the enemy team, you need beef, you don't have it in your 2, 4, or 5, you pick life stealer. If they don't do that and they pick their 3 here, then Dork Horse is just going to ban that away. Other options, whenever I see DK on the enemy team, I'm always very happy as Wyvern 3 spammer, because it is good into the hero. Not happy necessarily because the hero I think is still busted, but if you have a team comp that plays around the ability to do % health damage, instead they go for Spectre.
Okay.
So just going for priority picks, Backdoor Bandits has picked 4 meta heroes, and none of them are situationally good against Dork Horse's draft. They're just generally good.
Well, it's the Spectre will bully both of Dork Horse's supports. That's
yes.
I think what they're playing for. I do agree that I think the Life Sealer would have been better, Especially because I don't think they have much in the way to deal with it right now. But the Spectre is still really strong, and still, like, I mean, if you look at their heroes right now, a lot of their damage is tied to this Zeus and the DK, but you can just take out the Zeus with Spectre. So they're what I see Dork Horse probably going for with their last pick here is a little bit of supplemental damage. But I know Angry Sun has said that he's cooking. He's cooking in the mid lane, so we'll see what he comes up with. He's a bit tired of the meta, so you never know.
He is a bit tired of the meta, per our bit of interviews, questions that I send the captains before the match. I will say, as I said, they can flex this DK mid. I do know that they can play it. I'm sure if he thinks the matchup is good into the Lina, he'll do it. Because they're banning Angry Sun heroes right now. They're banning Storm Spirit. He played Quap last week. I would imagine they try to ban that as well, just anyone who has good lanes, generally speaking.
Good Undying ban. That's a good one.
The Undying, this is actually Lethal Kitten special, is the Undying 3, so taking that off the table, they played it last week, but Lethal Kittens is known for it. So
I'm surprised they didn't pick it then. It would have been pretty good. But back to the Lina mid versus DK, I do think as a non-mid player, I think that's probably a okay lane for DK. I think he comes out of it okay. So I do think it's on the cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good Undying ban. If Lethal Kittens plays it, you could ban Wyvern here as well, because you have 2 strength cores, but otherwise, kind of your percent health damage comes through in like Necrophos, which you're not really gonna see a whole lot of at the moment. Instead, they just ban for the lane, get the Razor off the table. Means that you can pick any melee position 1 here at all, if you want to pick pos 1 or any melee pos 2. If they send that DK into that safe lane.
I think the Razor ban kind of shows that they're, well, there you go.
Viper.
There's the Viper, but I do think the Razor
3.
ban, yeah, I do think the Razor ban does kind of show their hand that they're playing this DK as a position 1, if I had to guess.
Mean, the Viper pick, this has to be a 3 Viper, right? Because you already have Lina and Spectre, you can't really go anywhere else. You can just shove the DK mid, right? Which was something I think Dork Horse is already able to do. And potentially pick something else for your 1 here.
We're gonna get our answer. No, it's an Earth Spirit mid.
All right.
That's an Angry Sun special right there.
That is an Angry Sun special.
It's a lot of good team fight disrupt. I think they are gonna have a bit of damage issues about mid game, but once DK gets his items, I think DK is gonna be their main source of damage. This Zeus isn't gonna be really doing much. So Dork Horse really needs to come out of these lanes pretty well. I think they have the capability to do it. The Lina is going to be tough. The Lich is a little bit rough. But the Spectre lane, I mean, Mars is going to have a game. Spectre doesn't do anything. So.
Yeah, Mars is going to have a game into the Spectre always. But I think this is the other thing, right? You have this Viper. Doesn't really counter the DK until level 6 in theory, but DK doesn't really have a whole lot in Dragon's Blood then, because it's his facet, or his innate. So, I mean, Dork Horse didn't ban it. I think they were fully prepared to play into the Viper with this Dragon Knight. It still is, I think, a little bit telling to me that they let Backdoor Bandits get 3 of the top heroes in the meta right now, and a Viper into their DK. Maybe a little bit of disrespect. Maybe Dork Horse just thinks that DK is so broken that the Viper doesn't really matter, and that they're better on their heroes and don't actually have to care about the Lina Lich Spectre. But either way, I like Backdoor Bandits draft quite a bit better. We'll see how it works. Backdoor Bandits went 0-2 their first week. Dork Horse went 1-1. Their loss was an 82-40 something game. So in terms of time, so maybe they don't want to take something extended this week, but they definitely are prepared to play it. As we see,
I do agree with you. I think that Backdoor Bandits, or BB, I guess is what the little acronym is. I do think they have the better draft, at least on face value. Obviously the meta picks help that. But I do think from pure vibe, I like Dork better because the Air Spirit mid. I mean, it is just you gotta respect it.
I mean, it is an Angry Sun special. They banned Storm. I forgot what the other mid lane ban that they gave was. No, it was Invoker. Which
Invoker and Storm, I think, is what it was.
Yeah, so I mean, Storm's kind of like the Angry Sun hero. He hasn't played it a whole lot recently, but you can't really get that one over. This Earth Spirit, I know he's very practiced on it. I'm not exactly sure how practiced on it he is currently, but it is one of his favorite heroes, so we'll see how it works.
I do think, as a non-mid player, I will be fully transparent with that, but I do think it is a rough lane for him against this Lina.
They also picked 2.5 melee cores into Lich, which is never fun.
Yeah. I see where you said 2.5. I was thinking it 3. Yeah, I mean, in the team fights, they've got a ranged hero, right? With the DK Dragon form.
Potentially.
Otherwise, you're not fighting it.
Either way. Just Angry Sun was saying, look around their off lane. I think typically Dork Horse stacks have had strong off lanes back when they were Dork Horse Tempest. We had the Pikashi and Drurissa lane last season. Oh, hello. Crash finds Fire Fist trying to take the gate out.
Let's go.
But
I think that was 2 seasons ago.
And then last season they had. I'm trying to remember who their 3-4 combo was last season. Played with them. Dang it.
I'm also trying to remember because I can't remember, but it's fine.
Either way, they've typically had very, very strong.
Well, it was Crash. I know Crash was their 4.
Well, I thought Crash was their 5 last season, or was it still JJ and Nate as their state played?
Nate.
Yeah, that's right. But
yeah, okay. I'm curious to see how this DK fares. He's already very low on HP. He's about 30% HP. So I think that lane, just from the first exchange, is gonna be pretty rough. But if this Mars can find good picks, if they can control the creep wave, which they are doing, they're pulling, I think they have a very strong way to accelerate this game for them.
We're also getting some cheap damage on the Humble Korean, though.
Who's the one? Somebody's cutting all the trees. Somebody's being smart about this.
I would have to imagine it's Hina.
I would have to imagine as well. Wait.
Yeah, we see Hina just continually using the Quelling Blade right there. So
why is he cutting the trees, though? Isn't that where his stun? He is cutting the trees. What is he doing? Is this disrespect?
I think this is just for the pull. If I had to guess.
Oh, it might be. But there's like a whole grouping of trees that's completely gone. I don't know. I don't really know what he's doing.
Blade. Spearback, Lorenzo, not actually stunned against the trees, but Korean getting some better trades on a Fire Fist on the side of that. Angry Sun 17-0 to a 12-2 Lina, so this is going quite well for Angry Sun.
To that.
I will say Jimmy has one wave not taken yet, so it ends up being 17-0 to 14-2, but
still
he's making a good work out of this mid lane matchup. We'll say Lethal Kitten's having not as much luck in a Jerbear as we thought he would. He's only sitting 7-1 to a 15-2 Dragon Knight.
I think that just might be missed last hits. I'm not entirely sure. I thought that they're sitting on a double wave here, which will definitely help him.
I mean, it's also, I think, Crash is doing a very good job in the support matchup. Part of the reason why Zeus is so sought after as a position 5 right now is just because he does so much damage in lane to the enemy support, able to keep them off of your melee position 1 quite effectively. And we kind of see now the double wave crashes up against the tower. They're able to deny all the melee creeps and probably this last range creep as well away from the Dragon Knight, but Jerbear, meanwhile, also denying away the flag creep, so
Yeah, the
Ends up
lane
going about
manipulation right now is going, I think, pretty well favored.
Yeah, and
for,
Father just
Dork
tries to
Horse.
go in with these battery assaults and crash hits him with the lightning bolt, Jabber with the dragon tail, heavenly jump away, and
I think
really,
what we're
Fructus
gonna have
Father
to
gets
watch out
nothing.
for is this, that we gotta watch out for this clock rotating, because I agree this guy's not gonna be able to do much in this lane, but I don't think
The diving crash, though, poison
Wow,
attack
okay.
should get him.
that's the curse of the caster right there. All right.
Ends up being
Although that was
Fructus
really
Father with the
Viper, I
kill,
guess, but
It's Viper doing Viper things. Humble Korean fully sticking up to get a trade onto Fire Fist and win it out. So, offlane going quite well for Dork Horse right now, Backdoor Bandits. Their offlane not going as well as they necessarily wanted it to in terms of CS, but they are getting some advantages out of this right now, as whenever the Zeus is out of the lane, then the DK can't really do anything against these two.
I figured out the key to the mid lane, and it's the item that I always forget exists.
Is it raindrops?
Yeah.
The Drurosa special, just get raindrops.
Yeah, honestly, does make this lane a lot more even. And it does look like they're just trading it out, and just shoving it out. So
Humble Korean. I mean, a lot of passive wave manipulation, I think, coming in from this Dork Horse squad and from Backdoor Bandits. A lot of veterans. This Dork Horse squad, they lost 3 out of their 5 players to not wanting to play another season of AD2L quite at the moment. So they ended up essentially acting as a merger of Dork Horse and Max Retaliate from previous seasons. So, they've got that going for them. And as we've already mentioned, Lethal Kittens and company, Lorenzo, Backdoor Bandits, they've been around a while under various WSS Hellbears rosters, but Lethal Kittens not in Heroic this time around, playing in Champ, and these players also a little bit too low MMR for the Heroic squad, but have been around quite a while, and thus far, game's looking pretty even.
I think top's the one to look out for, because Lethal Kitten's getting kind of low on regen, and this Zeus is doing damage to him. So honestly, the DK is having a better time than I expected him to.
Yeah, Jerber
He
sitting.
is still behind the Spectre though. So
yeah, Jerber is sitting 2 points Breathe Fire, 1 point in Dragon Tail and Worm's Wrath. So not going for the max Worm's Wrath first. Second point in the Breathe Fire, just giving a little bit more last hit security, but I'd imagine because you are playing Dragon Knight in the year 2025, this will be max Worm's Wrath afterwards.
okay, I was about to ask a question, and it was about to be a very stupid question, because I was like, that passive hasn't always been called Worm's Wrath, right?
No,
But I
Dragon
see
Blood
it's
is the innate, Worm's Wrath is
Yeah,
the name
yeah,
of the Fire
I figured
Dragon
it out.
version of the passive.
I figured it out. Dota, man, it changes. Okay, well, Lena's farm is accelerating a lot here, which is just a result of Lena's innate spell usage. Tends to get her up pretty quick. I think what she's going to be looking for here is probably rotation, probably bottom, especially on this Rubik. The Rubik's going to be a pretty quick and easy kill, but that really, I think, would kind of prevent Dork Horse's entire game plan here and getting their 3 and 4 into the game, and really running over the game. If you can rotate on them, I think that really throws a wrench in their plan. So
Well, it is an Invis rune. Angry Sun does spot Jimmy taking that, so it'll be good for a gank, but it's coming in topside from
TP
Angry
top.
Sun. They're looking for Lethal Kittens and Fructose Father, get the Dragon Tail immediately.
that's
And the
huge.
cogs are here, as well as the Magnetize on 2. Angry Sun trying to get the Rolling Boulder, gets the stun. Down goes the Viper. Angry Sun's still pretty low, though. He's trying to duel with Fructose Father, and they barely get the kill before he goes down. Just the
he didn't
combined
even
battery
run away.
assault.
He was never worried. He was never worried. Oh my
Sticks at the
gosh.
last second to stay alive there, so well played.
You know what
2 kills
probably
going
kept him
topside.
alive right there? You know what kept him alive?
Raindrops.
Raindrops.
It's always
They save
raindrops.
lives, people. They save lives. I will say that level 1 magnetize, very underwhelming every time. But it was just enough, especially given, you know, the tank that, you know, he just brought his entire HP pool to it, and while Crash just wailed on him with Thunderbolt or Lightning Bolt, excuse me. And that does a lot of, it does 300 damage. This here is not okay. This here is not okay, guys.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Kind of good. Kind of really good.
A little bit.
Let's hop over to the net worth. We see the Viper's actually the poorest core. And the DK only sitting about 500 away from that Spectre. Has the second point of the Worm's Wrath. Has level 6, so Elder Dragon form starts taking the camps. Arena used bot side as well as Chain Frost. Hina should be able to get out of this one and make a clean break for it. Just gets hits one more time, but Jimmy's back in. There's no way out, but he's able to stick back up. Going to go down to Lorenzo finally as he gets speared back into the tree.
Oh,
Jer Bear comes back in off the TP. Stun on to Jimmy. Angry Sun's here as well. The lightning comes down from the Thunder God's Wrath, and still they're able to light strike away and get away from this. Korean Jer Bear continue to move forward though as the rolling boulder lands and Fire Fist goes down. Support for position 3, not exactly the trade you want to take if you're Dork Horse,
but it's a tower.
Take it at the very least.
But it's a tower too. I think that's kind of worth it. I am really surprised that the Spectre got as much out of this lane as she did. I think that's going to be a pain for Crash's game plan. Poor guy. He's not going to have a fun time. But I do think the early rotation from DK here, or Jer Bear, is... Oh, Spectre. There we go. Really enables them to open up this game. So
hold back away. Comes the rolling boulder. The Lich is here with the Frost Shield, though. Jer Bear is pretty low. Going to be taken on by the battery assault and the cogs. Goes down. Angry Sun, though, has the magnetize. Got caught by the side of the light strike array. Pulled back in by the fear, and Jimmy gets that kill. Fructose Father ends up going down to HK, but Jimmy finishes them off with the Laguna Blade. Crash is down bot, but doesn't want any of that smoke, and the gold goes back to even across the map. Goes 3 for 1 in favor of Backdoor Bandits.
Yeah, that was a rough fight. Because I do think that right now Dork Horse's main objective is this T1 tower, so they really wanted that. Unfortunately, the entirety of Backdoor Bandits had TPs up. Viper chose to recover his game a little bit, but at the very least, you know, DK didn't have his dragon form up. It was, and Magnetize was down, I believe, as well. So it was just,
a tough fight. I got Magnetize off in the fight, but
it's still level 1 Magnetize, right? So
yeah.
It is what it is.
Not doing nearly enough. Smoke comes in though from Dork Horse.
They're wrapping on this Lina.
Hina phase boots, has the arena, doesn't get him. Jimmy barely out of range. Hina barely missing that one.
That's a feels bad. But it happens. You know, that is the risk you take when you play Mars, unfortunately, because I have been there many a times. I believe you have been in those games, Finnick. It is never a fun time.
I also gave up on playing Mars as a POS 3 when I realized I don't want to play League of Legends while I play Dota.
Yeah, I mean, understandable. There are a lot of League of Legends players, or League of Legends heroes in Dota now, which is...
I mean,
not the worst thing in the world.
I don't think there are a whole lot. It really is just kind of Kez, Mars, and to an extent Wind Ranger, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Like Wind Ranger being the OG kind of League of
watch
Legends
the DK.
Hero. And Jer Bear's just dead here. Light Strike Array lands. This is the Laguna Blade.
Yeah.
The TPs are coming in. Jer Bear, feared up by the Lich, gets taken out with the Spectre, and she gets out of dodge with the remainder of her ulti.
But they did get the tower bottom, which does open up the map. If they can find the Spectre, that's what they're going to be looking for. That would be huge. Unfortunately, they have no way of knowing where she is. So
Lorenzo going Blade Mail Orchid.
Pretty
standard. Although Angry Sun didn't want to be stepping up there. Didn't quite have the vision to know that they were still in the area, and ended up getting taken down trying to take a camp. So Backdoor Bandits, despite the lanes not going exactly how they want, have found some advantages on their 2 cores. Dragon Knight's going to Dragon Knight, but he is currently sitting as the poorest core in the game right now. So not exactly the game plan that Dork Horse wants, but it is going quite well for Backdoor Bandits off of a couple of team fights.
Is this Viper going Orchid too?
That is in fact what you build on Viper.
since when?
It might not be an Orc yet. It might be a Witchblade. It might be a Mage Slayer. Okay. But he is going in Oblivion
I
staff.
can see a Mage Slayer, actually. Mage Slayer would be pretty good against this team.
Well, it's the standard. I'm playing mana hungry right clicker, so I'm gonna go an Oblivion staff item, and by Oblivion staff item I mean 2 or 3 of my 6 items are going to be Oblivion staff.
Yeah, my default is always the Rod, but clearly they do not need Catch with their team because they've got a Clockwork plus a Spectre who can just haunt in and kill whoever she wants.
Lethal Kittens did go Urn, and it will be Mage Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
So this will eventually be a Spirit Vessel. That plus the Viper Strike on a Jerbear does mean he will melt pretty quickly. Still waiting on this Mask of Madness from Jerbear, sitting 15 minutes and about 800 gold away from that. So not looking pretty for the Dragon Knight right now, as you kind of need the Mask of Madness to really accelerate farming, but still sitting behind a Spectre 15 minutes in, not what you want to see as a DK at all.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, this lean is about 300 gold off of her Ags. I think this is that time period that I think if they can't survive once she gets that Ags, and if they can keep space for Jerbear to get his items and get his timings, then I think they still have a game. But I am a little bit worried for Dork here.
Rocket Flare, and in comes the hook shot, knocked out of the way. The arena lands on 2, though. They might find Jimmy, but they don't get the spear. And how the Viper Strike onto Mars. Hina goes down. The move back in by Angry Sun. Magnetize on 2. Fire Fist barely able to get an ultimate out on that one. Jerbear goes down super low. He armlet toggles. He stays alive. Gets the kill. Unbelievable. Angry Sun still alive. Caught in a battery assault by Fructo's father. Still goes down. Ends up being an ultra kill for Angry Sun. 4 for 1 in favor of Dork Horse. And
that was crazy.
That was a crazy re-engage call. The arena hits on 2. They miss the spear on the Lena, but Angry Sun still goes in, hits the magnetize on 2, expands to the rest of the team, and the Chain Frost ends up whiffing, only hits 2 people and then fades. So really well played by Dork Horse. Slight misplay, I think, from that Lich from Backdoor Bandits, but regardless, Dork Horse coming out on top of that fight. Now top net worth is Angry Sun, and they're going to be able to recover this DK's game a little bit more.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, that's just experience right there. Because you see the misengage on the Mars, and you know what Angry Sun says? He says, "We're going in," and he knew they had the damage, and sure enough.
I mean, I also can't say this enough. Jerbear actually survived off an armlet toggle that fight. Pretty.
Wow.
He was extremely low. Extremely low. He's able to survive off an armlet toggle, so just clutch play by Jerbear as well. 2k gold lead. They look for Lorenzo under tower. Trade of Blade Mills. Angry Sun gets out.
That's what you do with a shield rune right there. You dive tier 2s.
As you do.
Yeah.
Shield rune, most busted rune in the game per Angry Sun.
This Viper is just getting a pretty much free game, but he's not really propelling his net worth that much. I think he's still having a rough go of it.
Yeah. So, Lethal Kittens going Mage Slayer, Dragon Lance. Will eventually turn that into a Hurricane Pike. I'm surprised he hasn't completed the Spirit Vessel yet. Just because a completed Spirit Vessel actually would have been the difference in that last fight for the DK.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily disagree, because I do think he dies to the Zeus if he doesn't get the Mage Slayer. So,
yeah.
But the Lena does have this Axe now. She's got boots of travel. She's pretty much ready to go.
We're now on Lethal Kittens, but Jimmy's right in the wings. Crash looking around. In comes the hook shot. Only lands onto the Viper, though, but the Viper strike on the Mars takes him down. Crash running away as fast as he can alongside HK, Jerbear, and Angry Sun. It is a 4v5 if they choose to re-engage this fight. But Backdoor Bandits decide not to press further, take the Mars pick, and send the Lena back bottom side. Has the Aghanim Scepter, about 400 gold away from the Aghanim Shard as well, so Lena sitting very pretty, top of the net worth. It is the battle of the mid lanes in this first game.
That was, I think Viper's not your target. I think, I don't think Dork Horse knew that.
Lena bought.
Oh, he's going
Angry
in.
Sun caught in some cogs. Lethal Kitten's still here. They do take down the
That was a good
support.
catch.
Now the rolling boulder, caught by the fear though, so he's not able to get the stun. As Angry Sun
BKB?
BKBs. They get the magnetize on one. In comes the Spectre, but Lethal Kitten's even with his ultimate on the crash. That's one. The chain frost is massive though.
Yeah.
Gets two out of that fight nearly.
Still worth, but yeah, a little bit rough. But yeah, good use of the BKB coming out right there. BKB reveal. It was just a good read. I don't know. Their Dork Horse is playing to their timings very well, and I think that's exactly what they needed, despite the fact that, you know, what's their name? Backdoor Bandits? I almost said Backstreet Bandits. Backdoor Bandits. I think are, or at least were objectively stronger, but they've just misplayed some of these fights recently. So,
wow. Not even gonna acknowledge the Backstreet.
I was in the middle of a thought. Speaking and thinking takes a lot of mental process for me. I apologize. Also, it needed more soul, is all I'm saying. That's my critique.
I wasn't trying to sing I Want It That Way, alright? That's the one you gotta get soul on.
Are you telling me right now that Backstreet doesn't always have soul? Oh, DD Rune. Looking for this Viper again. I don't think he's the one we want to be going on, but especially with the tier 1 right there. If they can find this Lena, that would be huge. Spectre would also be huge, but Lena's obviously in base right now.
He's got that blink dagger going into DKB.
Mars is coming up to his BKB as well. How's our boy DK doing? He's going S and Y. He's getting pretty close to it. He's already got the Y part.
Yeah.
Spectre is working on her Manta, and once her Manta is online, I think she can kind of kill whoever she wants.
Scan and find Angry Sun though, and a beautiful hook shot from out of vision. That is a very dead Earth Spirit. Was able to get the bounty rune as well. So kill streak ended. Jimmy gets the kill, and Lena is back on top of the net worth graph. Meanwhile, you know who's gotten ahead of his position opponent? It's Dragon Knight.
Let's go.
DK is inevitable.
He is, isn't he? Do people not go the shard on this guy anymore? I guess they just use the dragon.
No need to. Worm's Wrath.
I see. I see.
If you're playing like 3DK, which is kind of his worst position right now, and go for the Poison Dragon facet, you will go the Fireball to be able to farm. But I mean, Fire Dragon facet way too strong right now at just farming, and you really don't need the Fireball at all if your auto attacks do AoE.
I suppose that makes sense. I didn't realize how much AoE, or really how much cleave it is.
I will say subtly, in certain games, the Ice Dragon facet is actually really good. If they only nerf the Fire Dragon facet in whenever the next patch is, I think we will see Ice Dragon DK. Maybe not as a position 1, maybe it'll be 2-3, but Ice Dragon kind of situationally good right now. It's just Fire Dragon gives you way too much farm way too quickly. He's the best farmer in the game. And
I mean, bold of you to assume that we're gonna get a patch at any point. Also, there's a smoke on Dork Horse, which they're just smoking bottom, which is towards nothing, unfortunately. But a tier 2 tower, so we might get a fight around that. But right now, they're not going to be able to catch anybody out because the entirety of Backdoor Bandits is top. Do we think that we're going to see Backdoor from Backdoor Bandits? That's the real bet.
I don't think they have a ratting team comp, though.
They don't, but you know, I feel like that's just extra challenge.
If there were a Nature's Prophet, sure.
Are they? Okay, we've got a clockwork.
So they keep the smoke behind the DK. So they thought the DK was just solo pushing, or maybe... Nope, Hina. As they find the arena on Lethal Kittens, packed in comes the hook shot from Fructo's father, and they're caught in the cogs. In comes the Chain Frost, and Hina reeks it right back to the carry, but Crash is able to get out as the Magnetized lands on 2.
That's exactly what you want in a team fight. Oh, okay.
Here comes the Spectre, though. Tries to find the Mars. Hina should go down, but Jerrybear gets the stun as Jimmy takes down Crash on the side of the fight. HK gonna try to TP out of this one. Barely able to get it before a stun lands. Angry Sun won't be so lucky. Didn't have the BKB. Now tries to Rolling Boulder out of the way.
Unfortunately, I think he's going to go down here. But I do think that was that fight, despite it going bad for Dork, that was the power of the Air Spirit pick. Because, like, the Chain Frost went out, they tried to kite it out, and they used Earth Spirit essentially as a body to hold off Backdoor Bandits. And then whenever he was, you know, getting focused, he got out too. So it essentially kited out the Lich ult. And it was very well played until, unfortunately, I think they went on top of a ward and Mars got caught out by the Spectre reality. Was it reality? What is it called now? Shadow Step plus reality?
Either way, Jerrybear also ran out of dragon form there. Was able to get out of that fight.
Haste on top.
Lethal Kittens. Gets the break. Unfortunately, Lethal Kittens, you have an Earnest Shadows and not a Spirit Vessel that you are now completing. So the break fades. Jerrybear's still in trouble and finally goes down as the rest of the team comes and collapses. So Jerrybear was sitting second in that Earth. Now it's back to the Spectre. And we're back to an even game. It is now time to play Guess the Gaben. You know how it works. I know how it works. Guess what is the Dota Plus win probability of this game right now?
Oh, dude, that's hard. This one's a hard one. You got me at a bad time. I don't think it's 50-50. I just don't know which team is winning. Hold on. I'm inclined to say, mainly because I doubt the ability of the DK to outcarry a Spectre Lina Viper. I'm going to say it's like 65 in favor to Backdoor Bandits.
62, you're actually pretty spot on there in favor of Backdoor Bandits. So, and this Aegis is going on top. Turn that up as well. So
yeah,
pretty much able to take this uncontested. And it is quite unfortunate for Dork that Jerrybear, every time he gets farm on the map, and he's been able to farm up a bit, he just playing the 4P1 that they've been trying to play, haven't quite been able to take the pressure off of him nearly enough to really unlock his farming potential this game. And the Selena is sitting top net worth, now has the completed E-Blade, going the Blink Dagger as well, and has that Aegis the Immortal. So Backdoor Bandits looking very good as we approach the later stages of the mid-game.
I'm actually not so sure it's been a pressure issue and like a map control issue. I think it's been more of just they've been trying to take fights and be more aggressive, and sometimes it's paid off and sometimes it hasn't. Which that's the gamble you play. It's more interesting Dota, and I personally like to play that way, and I personally like to watch Dota games that way, so I'm not going to complain about it. But I do think it, you know, obviously has a cost, especially if it doesn't go your way. I do think, though, the DK, once he gets, he's going the Daedalus next. Once he gets that, he's going to be able to chunk people. The only question is he going to be able to live long enough to chunk people? And is his team going to live long enough to chunk people? That's the real question. We'll
Especially because Lethal Kittens now has the completed Spirit Vessel, so they have the all-important % health damage on top of the break for the Dragon Knight. I've got a lot of damage as well with Jimmy on the Selena having the completed E-Blade. So it really is going to come down to how effectively can he use this BKB once it's out. That first 9-second BKB is really going to be a deciding factor, I think. If he can get it off in a good team fight and they win, I think Dork get their way back into this game. But if they end up wasting that 9-second BKB or end up losing the next team fight with it up, Backdoor Bandits are going to start snowballing pretty heavily.
Here's an interesting one for you. Mars Lincolns.
He's been Viper Striked pretty much every fight. I don't love it. I don't love it because even though, yes, you've been the Viper Strike target every fight, I mean, it's a 3 Lincolns. These players are high enough, MMR, where it could be Hina's buying this to put it on the Dragon Knight every fight.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm curious to see how effective it's gonna be.
If it's a greedy Lincolns, I don't like it. If it is a supportive Lincolns, I think it could be quite good to keep the Viper Strike off of Jerrybear. He does have the completed Sanjin Yasha. He's about 300 gold away from his BKB, but the smoke's coming out right at the right time for Backdoor Bandits. Unfortunately for them, they aren't able to get this DK.
Radiant are
Yeah.
scanning.
Or
I
maybe
think
they are.
they've
Jerbear, don't
read it.
face check the high ground.
Oh, no.
Jerbear, you can't do that. Oh no, just disastrous, and he's not going to be able to have this BKB for another few minutes.
I think they suspected that they were smoked. Unfortunate that they took the gamble. I don't know if they were super confident in their the suspicions there, but unfortunately they were all smoked right where Jerbear walked out. There's not much you can do in that situation. Except not walk up, but you know.
But I mean, this is what I was talking about with the map control, right? They're trying to play 4P1, but none of their farming is on vision topside, so they're not dragging the 5 away from the 1, and thus Jerbear trying to farm triangle, even though he has the 2 supports with them there, they end up smoking up on him, and they end up killing him. So maybe a misexecution of their draft ideas here.
I think the big thing that they're running into now, one, it's rough. Like they want to play the 4v1 kind of, or the 4 and 1 kind of mentality, right? Oh, hold on. Yeah, there's a team fight going on.
Just an orchid on Crash.
Just a little poke. Just a little poke. But I do think the 4 and 1 mentality does work, but they do need the DK for the damage. And I think that's why this DK has showed up as much as he has, because the rest of them have started to really lack damage, and that's becoming more and more apparent as this game goes on. Just how their heroes play out. Unfortunately, they're just not doing enough. So even if they do find a lone Spectre or a lone Clockwork or something like that, they're still going to struggle to kill them before Lena gets a response off.
I mean, you have to find the lone Lena, right? Jerbear's going to have his BKB. Smoke
I mean,
out
you
from
do.
Crash.
100%.
Crash
They might do it here.
Smoked out.
They
They're
might
going
get
to have
lucky
to try
here.
it. Jimmy's a bit forward, spotted on a Watcher. Hina has Blink and BKB. Doesn't get hit by the Dragon Slave. Blink!
Yo, there it
comes
is.
the spear! They find it onto the Lena! Can they take her down? No, she E-blades to get out of the way as Jerbear was taken off the fight. Now Jimmy stays alive, pulls away, even with the Magnetize coming through. The Chain Frost ravages through Dork Horse, but they've already found 3 kills. They'll find a 4th. Triple kill for Angry Sun. And they only lose the Zeus. The fight started as well as it could have for Dork Horse. It looked like it was going to be a little bit dicey. Maybe the turnaround from Backdoor Bandits, but they just couldn't get off enough damage onto these cores, and Dork Horse ends up taking the fight.
They have a really good way to disengage and engage with this Mars. This Mars does both methods, or both jobs very well, just because he can go in, he can get off his combo, he can eat a Chain Frost, and then while his team is getting Chain Frost, they can disengage while the Mars arena is still up. So I think that's the real power of this pick. And that's really, if they find the right targets, which they did that time, our poor boy Rubik is getting killed. Unfortunate.
Spectre with Bloodthorn does Spectre with Bloodthorn things. Also, Lorenzo going Nullifier this game.
Is that the Spectre? Yeah.
Yep.
Nullifier. What does that really do?
I think it's honestly just for.
Oh,
There's
you know
a
what
solar
it's
crest
for?
from Crash, right?
It's
So-
for that. It's for the Rubik. The Rubik got a Yule.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, that's so mean. It's also for the Zeus too. Either way, it's very good.
I will say Crash did a very good job as the fight progressed in that last one. As soon as he got the Chain Frost, he heavenly jumped away.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're playing around the Lich Chain Frost well. I would still guess for win prob, Backdoor Bandits are probably favored right now, but those are the kind of fights that need to happen from Dork Horse. They were able to play around that 9-second BKB on Jerbear, which is what they needed to stay in the game.
They did still struggle killing the Lena though, and it's only gonna get more difficult. I don't think it's gonna get any easier for them. sure Jerbear is going to have more damage, but I do think they're going to have more ways to kite him out and to lock him down and prevent him from doing that damage as this game goes on, especially with this E-Blade.
Appears to be a smoke from Dork. I mean, I've got the completed Chrysalis on Jerbear, not getting the Daedalus quite yet. I think they're just smoking out of base and maybe trying to move top side.
Yeah, this is definitely a blind smoke. You can see how cautious they're moving.
Earliest possible smoke, or Roshan spawn is 7 seconds from now. So they know that the Roshan pit is on the table for Backdoor Bandits. They're playing the long game on this. So the smoke's gonna end up popping on Lethal Kittens, not on Jimmy. Maybe it actually does pop on Jimmy. Angry Sun finds it, and in comes the ultimate from the Zeus. Jimmy has to blink out of the way to get away from that rolling boulder. 43 seconds on the Aegis now.
Oh, it's so close.
On the side.
They know he's there.
TP's out.
Found him.
And goodbye.
I think... Did the kick? Yeah, the kick.
The kick saved him.
The kick saved him. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Jerbear had the Dragon Tail up. This is a bit of a waste of the Elder Dragon form. Backdoor Bandits has the time to wait this one out. They might not. Angry Sun is here. He might try to force the issue. Jerbear still sitting a ways, half of that ultimate available. I think
this is a fight that Backdoor Bandits wants to take. I'm surprised they're backing off of it. Especially they're giving up control for Roche, yeah. Oh, DK did just show that he TP'd mid, though.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like Backdoor Bandits is really taking advantage of that. So. Interesting. Looks like we're just going back to farming patterns. Yeah.
I mean, in a straight-up farm battle, DK beats everybody in the game. Unfortunately, this isn't a straight-up farm battle right now. The Nullifier is completed on Lorenzo. He's going to Shadow Step off cooldown to kill Humble Korean every single time. Which is
so rough, dude. Oh, man. It's a hard patch to be a support, you know? It really is. It looks like Dork is setting up for the Roche. I would be very surprised if Backdoor Bandits just lets them take it.
Backdoor Bandits scanned out Roche and ends up fizzling and not actually popping on anybody. Lorenzo does have Shadow Step up.
Jerbear's thinking about it. They're thinking about it. Problem is nobody on Backdoor Bandits is showing right now, so they just assume that they're smoking at them. Which it does look like they're looking to do soon.
About 1,000 gold away from that Daedalus, though, for Jerbear.
Yeah.
And you see the drawing on the map going over towards Dorkars.
They're going to get the
comes
Mars.
Out, but they finds the Mars immediately. Hina's here. He spots out Jimmy. Tries to get out with his Aghanim Scepter. In comes Angry Sun. They have the Magnetize, but the Chain Frost is being nullified by the BKBs. Still, the Zeus has jumped on the back line and goes down, as well as this Lich. Jerbear doing the damage on the Fructose Father. Should be able to take him down as Hina gets chunked out by Jimmy with that Laguna Blade. Gets taken down by Lorenzo. That's 2-4-1 in favor of Backdoor Bandits. Lorenzo continuing the chase. Jerbear in that Elder Dragon form. Angry Sun doesn't have Magnetize up and available.
Okay,
they got the silence on Jerbear, but they don't get the Light Strike Array. Angry Sun continuing to kite out with Humble Korean, who stole the Chain Frost, and he got it off in that fight as well. They have 28 seconds on it right now, but they do find Angry Sun.
I feel like Angry Sun died for Jerbear's sins there. Hitting that camp was super greedy. But I do think, oh man, I'm surprised. I don't know. That fight was, both teams I don't think got what they wanted out of that fight. I think both teams were pretty poorly set for it. Dork was definitely not expecting it as HK goes down here. Oh.
Nope.
That Chain Frost he stole, saved him. But Backdoor Bandits is getting Roche off of this, and that's gonna be the second Roche, right? Yeah.
Yeah, second Roche. So just a banner. I say just. Roshan's banner still is pretty powerful, but for the push up high ground. But two of the T2s are still up for Dorkars, so
I'm gonna do a little bit of
a high ground push out of this Aegis.
They might be able to. We'll see. I am going to do a little bit of mild poking fun. Look at the top. Look at the top lane. Over by the river.
Oh. Two obs. Two obs right next to each
That's
other.
some panic placement. I don't know if that was from the same person or honestly, if it was both supports individually putting them, good on you guys. Good on you guys. I wish my supports did that in a team fight.
You know, or maybe one of them just miskeyed, meant to place a sentry. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Tormentor being taken.
Yeah, it doesn't. It looks like Backdoor Bandits a little bit spooked. Lich almost died to the Torm. They took both teams took Torm in pretty much the exact same time.
So interestingly, it was Lorenzo that got the shard, because both supports already had their shard. I think. Yeah, both supports already had their shard, and Lena had the shard. So it was a 50-50 between Lorenzo and Lethal Kittens.
That's rough that it went to. That's rough that it went to Lorenzo.
I mean, this is not a shard we see built quite often on Spectre.
It's fine. Always going in.
It's fine. It's extra tankiness. Yeah, it tries to find Hina. Hina BKBs to get out of the Bloodthorn. But I don't know. This is looking very scary. Jerbear has not been able to get ahead of the Spectre with net worth, except for a brief intermission in this game through playing 4P1. He's only now going into the Silver Edge. I mean, if they can get the Silver Edge and they can keep the lead down for a bit, maybe they can find their way back into the game, but I think it is time to play Guess the Gaben. What you got?
I don't know. I feel like they're further ahead than they think they are on Backdoor Bandits, because they're playing as if it's like a 65 game still, and I think it's more like a 75 to 80.
Give me a number, not a range.
All right, fine. I'm gonna go 76.
75.
Oh, I am on point. Let's go.
Oh man. Yeah, you are going to get you are without practice scarily good at this. Which is,
I'm good at reading games. I've played a lot of this game, unfortunately, for everybody involved.
Look,
but
all I'm saying is I for a while casted a C/AU league. It's currently in their off season. And one of my common co-casters for that league, he and I made a bet that if he could get because he was always wildly off for Guess the Gaben when we started doing it, and he was starting to get confident about it. And I'm like, we made a bet. If he could get it before the end of that first season, 100% accurate, just once, it's all good. If he doesn't, he has to wear a maid dress on stream. He did not get it at all. We have yet to do this maid dress cast, but stay tuned for that. It'll be early mornings for US people.
I seem to remember that you told the same story the last time I casted and said that the stream was going to happen soon. Where's our maid stream, Finnick? That's what I want to know.
I mean, it was supposed to happen, and then like a bunch of stuff happened because we'll see. That league's in its off season. We might do it as part of the season 3 opener. But if it is, it'll be very early morning or very late night because it is C/AU league, other side of the planet.
So one thing we haven't talked about is this Lena has a Wind Waker.
Yes.
And that's going to be very difficult for Dork to deal with, and you'll never guess what their solution is.
Is it a nullifier?
It's a nullifier, but guess who
Mars.
It's on?
Obviously, it's on Mars. Well,
poor Mars is just building everything that they need.
Well, because Jerbear needs to build this Silver Edge for the Spectre.
I know.
And then Satanic to not. I mean, look. Poor position
Mars
1.
Is just like,
position,
nobody else can build it. I guess it's me.
Poor position 1 can't itemize for utility. Has to get damage.
I mean, they do genuinely need the damage. I do think it's the correct decision. I do, but at the same time, I do think it's a little bit of a feels bad with the Mars.
I mean, what do you expect? Nullifier on Humble Korean or Crash? Come on.
Honestly, on Crash, it would be sick.
I mean,
like a
yes,
meme
but
way.
how is he ever going to get that? I mean, the man is sitting on a 4-staff, a Solar Crest, and
I believe.
going
You gotta
Aghanim
believe.
Scepter
You
for
gotta
NIMBY.
believe. All I'm hearing is a bunch of things telling me why they can't do it. But what I want to know, Finnick, is why they can. You know what I'm saying? You gotta focus on the positives in life.
As a quick reminder, because we've gotten some viewers that have come in to the Twitch stream, this is being streamed across both Twitch and YouTube, so if you do prefer the YouTube stream, take a look at the AD2L channel. It is posted in there. Just higher bit rate, higher quality instead of
on YouTube?
On YouTube, yeah. Instead of 864p 60 at 8,000 kilobits per second, you can get 1080p 60 at 12,000 or
Did you say
1440p or 1440p 60 at 24k bit rate. So why is it
864?
Why is it 864p on Twitch? It's because if you are streaming in 1440, the way that the encode works with H.264 encoding, 864p downscaled from 1440p 60 is going to be higher quality than a 1080p stream in terms of visual quality than a 1080p stream downscaled from 1440p. Technically, at the bit rates Twitch uses, there is a downscaled resolution that you're supposed to stream at if you have a 1080p monitor or your native is at 1080p. As well, I can't remember what exactly it is, like 936p or something like that. But it's basically to get around the fact that Twitch's bitrate sucks, and this is kind of the best way to get the best perceived visual quality at 60 FPS. Because yeah, Twitch needs a much better bitrate. Technically, Twitch's bitrate cap is 6,000 kilobits per second, but you can get away with an 8,000 kilobits per second stream.
I'm gonna be the boomer that I am real quick, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Back in my day when I was growing up as a wee lad, I played Dota on like 15 FPS. You know what I'm saying? Kids these days, man, they got it too good. They gotta know what freaking 480p looks like. Like 240p, because that's what that was my internet speed watching YouTube back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like 10 years ago, because we had bad Wi-Fi.
See, I always watched professional Dota in client because it was higher quality. I mean, it's still a habit I have to this day, even though it's more delayed than the Twitch and YouTube streams. I still watch professional Dota in client because the visual quality of being natively rendered at max settings on a PC that can handle it is always going to be better than a encoded stream at streamable bit rates. But back in the day, no, to get around the fact that you couldn't see anything on a 480p stream because I had basically no internet bandwidth whatsoever, I streamed every single professional match I watched in client.
Yeah, but I would have had 15 FPS, so you gotta pick your poison, I guess.
You do gotta pick your poison.
I guess we're having internet issues on the Lich here.
Yeah.
Fire Fist. I'm gonna learn these players' names. I swear, I'll do it.
So,
Fire Fist understands. He's running off of that 240p internet right now, and he needs to up that a little bit.
And just as looking back at if I got any interesting tidbits from the captains for pre-match interviews. Actually, I basically already covered everything as far as team history concerned. They didn't give me like any fun facts we could riff off of. Unfortunately.
Guess we'll have to make our own. How do you think they formed their team, Finnick?
Well, they already told me how they formed it. I mean,
okay.
Backdoor Bandits are all ex-WSS Hellbearers players except for...
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Except for Fructo's father, who is like an IRL friend of theirs. And then Dork Horse, I mean, basically none of the first iteration of Champ League Dark Horse Tempest exists except for the captain and Angry Sun, but we know how this team went. You take 2 members of Dark Horse from last season that stay over, and then you take players from Max Retaliate, 3 out of the 5 from Max Retaliate. So
supposedly it's been a pretty easy mesh. I know that's a I don't know, pretty anxiety inducing mesh to bring 3 players from one team into another, because you just don't know how they're gonna gel together. But it seems to me like, even though they're struggling a bit this game, I think their execution has been pretty good all in all.
Honestly, I think you just let 2. I think Dark Horse drafted a little bit too disrespectfully. They let the Viper through, they let the Lich through.
They just wanted to have fun. You know, they just wanted to have fun.
Like we have 5 top of meta or just outright broken heroes on Backdoor Bandits side versus 2 top of meta or broken heroes on Dork Horse's side, and then 3 heroes that are good in certain situations or Mars.
Yeah, I was going to say
Mars.
I was going to say you're talking about the Mars Lincoln's Nullifier as one of the meta picks, right?
I mean, there has been an uptick in Mars play recently. I won't deny it. Again, the hero is so feast or famine. We saw it this game. This is more towards the famine side of things.
I think, yeah, I'm curious to see if this holds true. I think when patches go stale, people go to Mars, and the reason being is because Mars is like a sleeper. He's a sleeper hero. Every now and then, people will sleep on him for months in a patch, and then somebody will figure out a build for him, and it will just be OP. And I think that's what's happening now. They're just like, well, let's go to Mars, see if we can figure out the build for him.
But it's always Blink BK. It's always Soul Ring, Blink BKB. There is no deviation from those 3 items. Mars was utterly broken on the initial patch with the Divine Rapier change.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The only time Mars was so broken, someone in my MMR bracket could play him. Our MMR bracket. I forget, we're in the same MMR bracket now. How does it feel?
Right. Calm down. But I will say though, the getting one shot by a Mars was probably the most infuriating thing that has ever happened to me. But I was also, when it happened to me the first time, because I didn't know it existed until it happened to me, I was just in shock. I was just in pure shock. Of course, that has also happened with Lina this patch, but you know, it is what it is.
Hey, let's keep buffing Lina's Aghanim Shard until it can't be ignored. Like, in all seriousness, I honestly think this same Lina build was probably viable for the 2 patches before this, but people were so kind of in on the, and not, I think it was probably still pretty much as broken. They were all in on the light strike array, right click Lina. Oh my god. So wow. a little bit of things on the background. It seems that yeah, it seems like they're going to be playing without Fire Fist for the rest of this game. Just hasn't been able to get rid of the internet issues. And so this will be 4v5. That unfortunately, so the net worth taken out puts the net worth about 1,000 gold in Dork Horse's favor, but having the extra body does mean a whole lot. Hina looking for Jimmy. Blinks, instead goes for 3 on the arena, and Jerbear's here with a follow-up damage. Wow. Jimmy's way too far out of the fight. It's nobody with the light strike array, and even though the Lich was already DC'd, ends up being a triple kill for Jerbear. So
they were microing the Lich.
They were microing
the Lich. But that Daedalus on Dragonite, that's a lot of damage.
But
that Viper was there and then wasn't very quick.
So it's pretty unfortunate for them. But back to the thing with Lena, I think people were so adamant about this thermal runaway right-click Lena build where you just open with where you open
Did
with.
he just hit himself? Did you just see that?
Shush. Where you open with Laguna Blade and then just right-click people down. That, like, even though I think this exact one-shot build was viable in those previous patches, it took the nerfs to right-click Lena for people to realize that the spell damage Lena is utterly broken. And that kind of... I mean, this is really unfortunate for Backdoor Bandits. I do think they can actually win this 4v5, though. Which is crazy to think about it.
I think they could have, but losing that team fight makes it really hard now. I don't know. I mean, if they can get good micros off on the Lich, it is possible as long as they get the Chain Frost off. But I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, they're effectively 4K down in net worth. Any net worth that goes onto this Fire Fist now, as they're literally just point-click following Lethal Kittens, any net worth that goes on this Lich now can't be bought. So, can't be utilized, so the net worth is going to be a little bit of a lie later down the road, but still...
Just like the cake, right? Just like the cake.
Did you really just make a Portal joke near 2025?
Yeah, is that not allowed anymore?
I mean, a lot of the jokes from that era, like Rickrolling and the game, have come back into fashion.
Rickrolling? Holy crap.
Rickrolling has come back into fashion, so maybe we're due for some cake jokes.
I don't know. The cake jokes, I feel like, are very
I lost
situational.
the game.
All right, get out of here. Get out of here with that.
I mean,
we're not bringing that one back.
I mentioned it. Look, we're like 2007 called. They want their jokes back. I'm bringing that.
I don't want to go back to 2007. I really don't.
I mean, you were the one that brought us back to 2007 with the cake joke.
Well, when did Portal 2 come out? Let's
2011.
Oh, we reconnected.
Oh,
Firefist reconnected.
Firefist is back. Okay.
Let's see if they can get the morale and focus back. And poor Clockwork, as we're walking into the entire enemy team.
Yeah, goodbye, Clockwork.
Oh, it do be like
Spectre,
that. Oh,
wow. Trying to find the Zeus. Can't quite get him.
That was close.
Oh, man. Crash.
Oh, that was really close.
Crash almost dies to the final tick of the Bloodthorn, but Lorenzo has Aghanim Scepter. Oh.
That was disrespect if ever I've seen it.
Oh, no.
Using an Aghanim Scepter for that is wild, but I feel like on the mental side of things, Crash is probably like losing his mind right now. Because I would be personally. Maybe Crash is a better man than me. He probably
PMA,
is,
though.
but yeah, he is.
Crash is like so extremely like this man. I mean, he only has
Spectre
5
Bomb.
deaths.
This is huge if they can get him.
Lorenzo. Stun up with the
that's
arena.
huge.
Jimmy is way too far away.
That's such a big kill.
But
wow. Okay,
yeah,
I think if they can keep capitalizing off of this, especially with the trickle feed, not really feed, but catching people out as one hero is down, they can really push this to snowball elite here.
They're gonna look to push this high ground. So they'll have the Zeus back up, buyback available on
There's
the Spectre.
Lincolns. There's the Lincolns.
The Lincolns on Jerber. I mean, Hina's just playing back right now. Has Blink, no arena though. Jerber taken down very low by Lethal Kittens, or staffed away by Humble Korean, and they're gonna eat out the rest of that. Rashawn, earliest possible spawn, 1:20. Will be top side, so looks like Dork, of course, is gonna play towards that. I will say, as an aside, we should probably play Guess the Gaben again, now that the Lich is back.
I know. Yeah, I was thinking about this as soon as they got the kill on the Spectre. I think that shifts things a lot. I do think it's still favored in Backdoor Bandits' favor. It's gonna change if they get the Roche. I'm gonna say 62. I'm gonna say 62.
61. You've been one off twice today.
Wow. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get it right eventually. And no, I'm not gonna make a I'm not gonna make a made bet. That's not gonna happen.
I mean, look, ladies, comment below if you want
No.
to see Oblivion Casey in a mage dress.
No.
I have it on good authority. He would look good in one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, they have spotted them out with the rocket flare. I think. Did they? I think they spotted the Mars.
They did. Late Roche though, 222.
Well, they definitely spotted out 2 of them, at least. So they know.
I mean, Jerber's got the Silver Edge completed now.
He's big. The question is,
if they fly the Spectre, she just dies now. Except for the fact that they have the Dispersion Shard, actually.
If they catch Jerbear, I think they win. That's kind of funny. It's like whoever gets got first. It's either the Lina or the Dragonite.
Oh, Jerbear.
Oh, the DK is way out of position.
But goes on to Lethal Kittens. That's a little bit of a mistake. He's able to get the breakdown onto the DK, but Hina's here and gets the arena onto Jimmy. In comes Angry Sun. Magnetize onto Jimmy, running for his life right now as the Spectre dives into the back line. Down goes Jimmy, but the Chain Frost takes down Jerbear. The cores are still alive for Dark Horse, and now they're running back and kiting away from Lethal Kittens, who took down their Rubik. Silence onto Hina. Blinks should be able to TP out of the way. They get the Lina, but they lose their DK and they lose their Rubik.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate position on the DK when it started. Obviously, he had no idea where they were, but he just ran into 3 of them right off the get-go. He did play it very well, and the entirety of Dork Horse did. They got a lot out of it in terms of survivability because they were able to hide essentially behind this. I know he's trying, but they were trying to hide behind this Mars arena, and they did successfully for a while, and it allowed them to get the Lina kill, but it ultimately wasn't enough. This Viper did a lot that fight, and I think he's really scary right now if they don't deal with him too, which is what I was a little bit worried of. When you have 3 good cores that kind of scale well into the game, and you only really have 1.5 on Dork Horse. I don't know. Maybe I'm
just got his nullifier
spirit.
Though.
Yeah.
Let's look at buyback status. Everybody has buyback status right now except for Crash. So.
And Crash, I think, is the one who's gonna need it.
Crash only has 6 deaths this game. You would think that would be more.
No.
Roshan spawns. I mean, the good news for Dork Horse was that it was such a late spawn on Roche that they're all up to contest this if Backdoor Bandits goes for it.
Okay.
Vector.
Just a little bit of trolling. They know where the vision is now, yeah.
Does have the haunt. Oh, no, doesn't have the haunt. So he used the haunt, used the shadow step. 34 seconds and 25 seconds respectfully, and they find the arena and stun up the clockwork as they try to find the Lich.
I don't think that was good. They used a BKB and a Mars Arena for that? For just a clockwork? I think it's still
It might enable them to take this Roche Run contested, and it has an Aghanim's Blessing, which would be very nice for Jerbear. So the buyback comes in, because Roshan is up and both teams know it. This could be the final fight of the game. Jerbear, he's got half of his Elder Dragon form remaining to him. Goes back into the Ghost Scepter. Fire Fist, Invis.
Fire Fist
Blinks,
is in.
Tries to find Hina, instead goes down to him. Cannot get the Chain Frost off in time. He has buyback, though. But they don't have a way to TP into this. The outpost was already taken by Dork Horse. So he has to TP bot outpost and then come through the portal if he wants to contest it.
They won't have Dragon Form. They won't have BKB for another 40 seconds. I think it's really scary for Dork Horse to try and take this. But Lina is about to show on bottom. Which means... wait. They're leaving. Jim? Oh, it's I'm an idiot. Roche is switching.
Shadow bladed up as Jerbear.
Oh, they're looking for the Lina, maybe? No, they
might try to collapse on the Lina.
That's a haste on the Lina. There's nothing they can do about that. So
that was a buyback used for both supports. or buyback not available for both supports on Dork Horse. Buyback used on the Clockwork,
yeah,
and Crash on the Zeus. And
they might
DK
find
also
Lina.
doesn't have buyback because he bought out for Satanic.
If they
But
catch
they spy
Lina here,
Lina.
it's
They spy Lina.
huge.
Jerbear! Oh,
Oh,
no!
they got her. Oh,
She blinks out of the way. Wind Waker's to completion. Now Fructose Father goes back in. Tries to find Hina. Doesn't have BKB. The Lincoln saves him, though, from the Laguna Blade. And now the Magnetize on two. Fructose Father trying to get out of the way as Lorenzo dives onto Crash. They're gonna try to take
Crash is
down
still
at
alive.
least somebody from Dork Horse. And now the Chain Frosted only goes on to Angry Sun, who pulls it away back towards the creep camp, but they find Jerbear, who is way too low. Gets the Satanic off, but he's stunned out of the way. And down goes Jerbear. No buyback available on the Rubik. No buyback available on the Dragon Knight.
man, these
And this
fights
should be
are
Roshan
really...
and Aegis
Yeah.
over to Backdoor Bandits. The good news
And a
for
refresher.
Dork Horse is that this is a refresher shard. The bad news is that they still have a Lich.
Well, it's a Lich or even the Haunt on the Spectre is really spooky. Man, these team fights really are just about positioning for this game. Basically, if one guy gets caught out, I mean, that's it. The team fight falls apart really quick. They played a very good...
If I may be so bold,
Yeah, go for
may I make a prediction?
it. Yeah.
We're going to T5s this game.
A what?
We're going to T5s. I think we're going 60 minutes.
Oh, me and my idiot self. I was like, there aren't tier 5 towers in this game.
No, tier 5 neutral items.
Yeah.
I mean, 7k net worth advantage at this state in the game. I mean, win prob be damned. This is such a small amount of net worth advantage overall. Both of these position ones are bought out. They're gonna have their buybacks up, but around the same time, Hina bought out as well to go refresher. So it's gonna be refresher Lich versus refresher DK. No, Lich doesn't have the refresher. Who took it?
Yeah, it's probably the Spectre, right? Wait, who does have it?
It's on.
Oh, it's
Lina.
on the Lina.
It's on Jimmy.
I mean, that is a lot of damage.
I mean, double BKB, double Wind Waker, double
Yeah.
Laguna Blade, and then yeah.
It's not bad.
Bearbird doesn't have buyback. Spectre looks for Crash, who gets back out.
Interesting.
115 gold on the buyback for the DK, 900 on the Mars. I mean, this is go for
Lina
broke.
is poking.
HK, 4 staffs, telekinesis on the Jimmy. Wind Wakers to get out. Angry Sun. Ooh, tries to find Lethal Kittens, who 4 staffs himself up under the
Vipers.
cliff, but he's
Okay,
got a
alright.
4 staff on the rest of his team, and down goes Angry Sun.
He's
Jimmy
got
hits the
buyback.
light strike array. He's got buyback available though.
That was Chain Frost. So if Dork Horse can buy back here and fight within 40 seconds, which I think is what they're probably going to have to do, but it's hard.
Hina, Arena, buyback, finds the Lich, takes him down. Chain Frost used by Humble Korean, and the stolen Arena or double Arena from Hina is just enough. The buyback lands from the Lich, but it might be a little bit too late as Crash goes down. Lethal Kittens is extremely low. Jerbear gets a Satanic off. They're going to try to take down Lethal Kittens and Jimmy. Jimmy pops his BKB. He gets his ultimate off on Hina. They should be able to take down the Mars. And it's 2 dead for both of these teams. Jimmy, has a Magnetize on top of him. Jerbear's here. He takes him down super low, but he's able to Wind Waker to safety as Angry Sun goes in, gets the Rolling Boulder on Lorenzo. They've got the stun in from the DK as well, but Humble Korean is extremely low. Buyback lands from the Zeus as well. Jerbear's here. He wants to get Fire Fist. He's able to get him, but Jerbear's way too low. Gets taken down by the first shot of the Lich ulti. He has buyback. And they keep
I don't even know what to say
everything
about
alive
that.
for now.
That was
Gold pretty much even across both these teams when it's all said and done off the fight, but the buybacks, only 5 remain on the table. 2 for Dork Horse, 3 for Backdoor Bandits, and they still have this Aegis on the Lina.
They've got the Haunt, or they've got the Spectre.
No, they don't.
Oh, they
not
don't have
without the
damage.
DK. They don't have break.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, I do think, all things considered, I think it kind of went okay for Dork. I don't think it's ideal for them. Obviously, it looks pretty bad with all the buybacks, but in terms of the execution of the fight, I think that's kind of what they had to do. Especially in terms of the Mars ulti, or the Mars double ulti. They essentially just isolated out the Lena and were able to nullify her for the vast majority of that. It was just, unfortunately, the DK damage kind of fell short, and they weren't killing. They weren't getting the kills they needed.
Angry Sun's also going for a refresher for double magnetize. Jimmy, 40 seconds on this Aegis.
All right. I want to guess. Am I allowed to call
I mean, you're allowed to do an impromptu guess the
game?
Gaben if you really want to. I already looked. We're so
I'm
late in
gonna
the game where
guess-
improv doesn't matter, I think, but
I'm going to guess 88.
77 actually. You're
Okay.
this one off today. Again, we're so late in the game that win prop does not matter. It is how many fights to win the game for either team.
That's fair.
So I would say it's a 1-fight game for Backdoor Bandits. It's a 2-fight game for Dork. And we have 3 minutes and 8 seconds
least.
until T5 items are available. Dork is going to smoke out. They have this refresher on Angry Sun. As soon as he gets to the shop, he doesn't have buyback anyways. So they'll have double magnetize. They'll have double arena in 2 seconds. Spectre.
They're scouting out the smoke.
Knows that Crash is smoked up. They know that they're smoked up using the Shadow Step from Lorenzo.
Would have been the Haunt.
No, that was Shadow Step.
What? How did they do that?
Because you just... you don't... You don't have to have vision on somebody to use Shadow Step on them. You just, or maybe you do. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure you do. That would be
Well, what
broken
did
if
they
you
have
didn't.
vision for?
That's what I was
Whatever.
thinking.
Oh, they had this.
Isn't
they
it the thing that, like, is it the shard or the axe? What is it? Where, like, you get to go back to the one that, yeah, the
I mean,
one that
Haunt is
last
the old one.
damaged you? or
Look, it was
something like
Shadow
that?
Step. That's all I can say. It was not. I don't know where they had vision of it, but either way, the
Is it
smoke ends up
the-
fading.
I'm gonna figure this out. Hold on.
Jimmy has a sheep stick now. Still has the refresher shard in backpack. Kina, though, finds Jimmy! No! Blink for blink.
Oh,
Haunt onto the
BKB
back
used
line. BKB used from Hina. And they take down
There goes
Crash.
Crash.
Oh, hookshot used. Doesn't find Hina. It already blinked out of the way. Jimmy smoked up with the rest of the team. I mean, Hina has this refresher, so they'll have one more arena up. Jared Bear also going refresher. We are
Alright,
a
I give
minute
up.
15 away from tier 5 items, and Dork are all the way in base.
I give up. I can't figure out what it is.
If I'm Backdoor Bandits right now, I literally just stack these camps in the triangle and just wait out to 60 minutes and keep Dork in their base. If you can get the T5 items and Dork doesn't have them, then you basically just win a fight. Automatically.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing what I would do, which is just screw it. Get the fort. That's pretty good.
They do get the fort, but racks are up in all 3 lanes, so it's only the free glyph being used by Dork.
They get a mid racks from it though.
You get the mid rack. DK also. There is 20 seconds until T5 items are up. Dork has to find these items.
Dork is going to smoke out at 60 minutes. They're not just gonna say they buy. This is kind of the YOLO thing.
Hina, though, can't get the ultimate and the spear onto Lethal Kittens. Jimmy's on the back line. Angry Sun's trying to make work of this fight as he's got the magnetize on 2. The arena comes back out. They've got the refresher back up. Down goes 1. Down goes 2.
Wow.
Jimmy is way too far out of the fight, and the Spectre doesn't have the ult. The Chain Frost comes through, but it's way too little, way too late. Angry Sun trying to find his way onto Jimmy. Pops the Chain Frost. They get the rolling boulder. Down goes the Lena. Buybacks available on 3, but it is 60 minutes and the tier 5 items are ready to be farmed by both these teams.
Turns out, whenever you don't have Frost Shield on Viper does actually die. Who would have thought?
Yeah, they didn't have Haunt, they didn't have Shadow Step, and they were playing with their Spectre way too far away, so basically not their entire, but a significant chunk of their gold lead just vanishes from contention, and it's one pick after another. I mean, the Spear missed. The Spear just flat out missed, and it didn't even matter.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the Spear isn't what makes or breaks these fights. It's the placement of the arenas, who's in it and who's not. That is what really disrupts
Lift forced
these
out.
fights.
They're gonna try to force buybacks potentially. Where are your
they
tier
might
5
catch
items? Lorenzo!
Oh, she's out. She's gonna fight. Yep.
On the Jerbear, no buybacks from the rest of their team though.
Yeah.
I mean, Crash is farming the camps right now. They're gonna have the DK start doing that as well. They didn't make any sort of no, I don't think any T5 items have dropped yet. No, one. Hina has one, but he has not popped quite yet. We are on tier 5 at watch. Jerbear, go farm the ancients, please. Jerbear, please.
I mean, now they should be farming it, but they definitely made the right call by not focusing, getting tier 5s.
I mean, they got the glyph. They got the...
When you can get objectives, you gotta get objectives.
Yeah. So it's Giant's Ring for Angry Sun. We saw that. Kina and Jerbear both have one as well that they haven't used.
Does it make the boulder go big?
It makes the entire hitbox goes big. So Angry Sun does in fact have a bigger one. It's Mirror Shield for HK and Jerbear. Oh
Yikes.
my. And it's Seer Stone for Crash. So these are really good tier 5 items, pretty much. And Hina has a Seer Stone as well. So the Mirror Shields and the Giant's Ring are basically exactly what Dork wants. Currently, we're sitting Seer Stone, Force Boots, and a Naked T5. Only 3 T5s. Arcanist Armor for Fructose. What's Lethal Kitten's gonna go on this T5? I mean, it's a smoke out from Dork Horse. They have one more tier 5 item up and available, and Jerbear finds Jimmy! Oh no, poor Alina has buyback up. But that's exactly the pick that Dork Horse wanted. It's now net worth lead reduced to 5k.
Net worth doesn't matter.
Net worth does not matter at this stage in the game. Buybacks
Especially
available
5K.
on all 10 players.
Oh, they scout him with the Seer Stone. They know where the Viper is.
Force
they
staff,
got him.
Arena.
A bit awkward.
Angry Sun as well. Lethal Kittens, BKBs, Force Staffs to get out of dodge. Lincoln Sphere pops to get away, and they get the second arena. They get the second spear. BKB popped by Hina. Down goes the Viper as Fructose Father tries diving the backline, backs onto the Lina and the Viper as Hina goes down very low. Finally files to the Lina, but Fructose Father is the trade. 3 buybacks now used from Backdoor Bandits, and Lorenzo, he finds Jerbear. They have the Light Strike array, but he's too damn tanky. They don't have the Viper Strike. They can't take down Jerbear, but HK falls. Buybacks now on the Mars. Should be a buyback from the Rune soon. Jerbear tanking it up. He's hexed away. Goes down. Has to buy back to stay with the rest of his team.
I mean, honestly, once 3 bought back there, I knew which way that fight was going to go, but I think you're still happy with Dork Horse. You got the Lina buyback, you got the Viper buyback, and you basically proven that you can win these fights.
Moves up high ground alongside Jimmy. Buyback on the Rubik. They haven't quite bought back on Jerbear quite yet. It's a good telekinesis. Hina is here. He doesn't have the arena. He doesn't have the refresher, but HK is being dove by Lorenzo. Somebody used the refresher. It was Angry Sun, and he's taken down Jimmy so low. He's got the magnetized. The Lina goes down. No buyback on the Lina. No buyback on the Mars. Lorenzo wasn't able to kill the support. Angry Sun's in trouble, though. He's taken down low. He has his buyback. He's stunned up, but still... The Magnetize is ramping through the rest of this team. Buyback on Angry Sun, Fructose Father. He finds Jerbear. If they can get the buyback, the dieback on Jerbear, it could be game. 2 cores are dead. No buybacks available from both of those cores on Dork Horse. Crash ends up falling. He's gonna have to buy back. Lorenzo is here. They don't have their clockwork. He's way too low, so it'll end up being 3 for 3 in the plate as Angry Sun goes in, finds Lorenzo, but he's caught up by the Lich. He's caught up by the rest of the team. The damage comes in from the Viper. Angry Sun barely able to get out as HK has to get out as well with the force to have his own BKB.
Oh, that's
and now
so
Lethal
demoralizing.
Kittens, Fructose Father, and Fire Fist still in the base. 71 seconds on the Lena, 90 seconds on the Dragon Knight.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And Lethal Kittens just keeps on pushing Lorenzo. He should be able to get the... he should be able to get the Zeus, and he does. No buybacks available. That might just be
game.
GG. The throne is exposed. Here comes one last glyph. Angry Sun interrupted out of the rolling boulder. Gets one last magnetize out. But that is all she wrote. Backdoor Bandits in a barn burner take down Dork Horse and take game number 1 of the series.
That might be one of the closest games I've seen in a long time. That fight, that last fight there, was the decider. Dork Horse would have won the game if they had won that, and they were 1 kill away from getting it. So it was just close. Really hard fought by both teams.
I need some hot tea or something for my throat. Maybe some lozenges. We're gonna take a quick break. When we return, game number 2, Backdoor Bandits versus Dork Horse. You will not want to miss it. We'll be right back after this. Welcome all, and welcome back to the AD2L Season 43 Week 2 matchup between Backdoor, Bandits, and Dork. My name is Finnick, joined by Oblivion KC, and that was a barn burner of a game number 1. My throat is killing me, but I've got a nice hot cup of tea, so we'll see how things change going into game number 2. Dork on the dire side with first pick this time around. Backdoor Bandits still on the Radiant side, but this time they have second. And we see bans pretty much unchanged from Backdoor Bandits from game number 1, although they do add in a Medusa ban, as well as Clockwork, because they think Dork might first pick it. Dork, meanwhile, they have banned Lycan, they have banned Spectre, they have banned Nyx, and they can pick Lina or Lion, and they go ahead and first pick the Lina.
Well, there you go. I was about to say, I think a lot of Dork Horse's problem there is they wanted to play the 4v1 or the 4 and 1. I keep saying that, but the 4 and 1, right? And that only really works if your 4 has enough damage to really kill the heroes that you need to kill. And I think that's what they kept running into there. They had to keep pulling the DK in when they necessarily didn't want to, and that just made fights a little bit more difficult. The DK basically had to be involved in everything, and that just slowed down their farm and really slowed down their entire game plan. So I think the Lina kind of fixes that.
So the ban for the Dawnbreaker, or the ban for the Nyx, to enable to pick or to stop people from picking Dawnbreaker, depending on how you ask. either way, I think go ahead and ban the Dawnbreaker. This is the problem with Nyx Assassin. It is both a counter to Dawnbreaker, so if you want to play it, you want to ban it.
5 seconds remaining.
If you don't have the ability to pick them both at the same time.
Dire
But
team
it is also one of Dawnbreaker's best synergies because of Vendetta plus Solar Guardian. So with that, Dork Horse banning it out enables Backdoor Bandits not to be counterpicked by it, but also they have first pick in the next phase anyway. So realistically, I think Dork Horse is trying to dissuade the Dawnbreaker, and they go ahead and pick it up anyways. Lich and Bloodseeker are banned up by Dork Horse. I do like these bans a lot more.
Yeah.
It does enable DK from Backdoor Bandits here, but Dork Horse, even with this Lina,
10 seconds
they
remaining.
could throw it 4 and just pick Viper if they really wanted to, or
5
have
seconds remaining.
Hina play 4 or play Viper. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I agree. I really like Dork Horse's bans this time because I think they've figured out that Backdoor Bandits likes the meta a little bit. They like picking meta heroes, so just ban meta heroes. I do think Dawnbreaker is going to be an interesting pick. I think it has a lot of good synergies in the meta right now. I'm curious to see how Backdoor Bandit adjusts their play style this game based off of it, because I don't think it's the same kind of play style that they were going for last game. I think this one kind of lends itself to either more aggressive initiation or a much more static core that you want to protect, which is very different than what they had last time. So curious to see what they end up picking up.
I will, and they go ahead and pick the Invoker. So I will say, Backdoor Bandits decided to ban DK, so they don't want to pick it in that second rotation, really, or they wanted to prioritize this Invoker pick. Dork Horse.
10 seconds remaining.
This is a very different style of draft, as you mentioned,
5
Backdoor
seconds
Bandits.
remaining.
In some ways, it is similar because you have a global ulti in that Solar Guardian, but also picking this Invoker, you're picking for team fight. Dork Horse had this Abba banned against them in game number 1. They're going to pick it here. Very good support right now. Even people like me can play it at a competent level against Immortals, per my last AD2L game. But yeah, Dork Horse, I think they're pretty happy with the Abba pick, or with being able to get the Abba this game.
5 seconds
AA
remaining.
is up and available, and it was 2 cores or a core and a support, depending on where they put this Dawnbreaker for Backdoor Bandits. So unless they are sure that this is a Dawnbreaker 5, I would still be a little bit wary about that potential pickup from Backdoor here.
I'm looking at trying to figure out what Backdoor Bandits is going for here as far as carry, because I think their options are like Medusa, PA, Juggernaut seems pretty bad. Okay, Medusa's banned. Confirmed.
I mean, look, you see Dawnbreaker and Invoker. There is a very obvious carry to pick when you see these two. I don't think he's very good right now, but you could pick Faceless Void. As long as you go Chronosphere Facet.
I did not think about Faceless Wood because he's so bad, but that is an option.
You see Dawnbreaker Invoker, you think Faceless Void. They go ahead and pick their Phantom Assassin for Dork Horse.
Yeah. The other one is CK, Chaos Knight. I could see that being okay. Not good into PA as far as I'm aware. So maybe not now.
10
They could go
seconds
Ricky. Ricky would be interesting.
Ricky could be interesting, comboing off the Solar Guardian as well. I think,
Mm-hmm.
like right now, you're looking for Solar Guardian Cataclysm combos. So anything that has invisibility, so Bounty Hunter could be also pretty decent. But also, anything that enables even more stacking upon ultimates. So you could see something like a Tide Hunter here for position 3 if this is a Dawnbreaker support. Potentially. Faceless Void, as we already mentioned, is a possibility, but not necessarily the one you want to go.
They need some sort of initiation, which is kind of okay.
Well, yeah,
Dawnbreaker 4.
I mean,
you think
it's Dawnbreaker 5 at this point.
Oh.
Welcome to Dota.
Yeah.
Welcome to Dota in the year 2025. Dawnbreaker is a
Yeah.
position 5.
Understood. I was not aware of this one, but honestly, it doesn't surprise me.
So I mean, the axe still goes with the kind of idea of like that Tide Hunter or whatever, but I mean, it's a BKB piercing AoE stun that enables your Exort Invoker to either hit Cataclysm or Solar. I almost said Solar Flare. That's not the name of it.
Guardian? Solar Guardian?
Solar Guardian is the name of the Dawnbreaker one.
Yeah.
Sunstrike.
Oh, I thought we were talking. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, no,
I could have told you
it
that.
enables your Invoker Sunstrike. So, I mean, it does enable your Solar Guardian from Dawnbreaker as well. So,
I think the axe does very well into the PA as well. So, getting PA to kill herself on Blade Mail is always a fun time.
Could be a Dawn 4, but I think she's most often played 5. But with the Lion being picked,
I would imagine that's a line 4. Yeah, they might go for a Drow or something like that. Then they need.
I don't love Drow.
I don't love it either.
You're running into the same issue here, where you're running into the issue where Backdoor Bandits didn't pick anyone that has a break for PA, and hasn't picked anyone that's going to buy a Silver Edge for PA. Nor have you picked anyone that's going to buy a Bloodthorn for PA. Nice. I like this Magnus actually quite a lot.
Yeah, I think Drow still. I thought Drow was still pretty good until I saw
Drow
Magnus,
is pretty bad.
And now I think it's terrible.
Drow is pretty bad.
They need something like a Drow, which does not help.
CK is still a distinct possibility.
I think it's bad. I think it's very bad. It kills Melina until she gets items to deal with it, but it does not deal with a PA.
Well, it does, because you can get Silver Edge or Bloodthorn or both, right? As CK.
I guess.
Because like you missed your opportunity to pick Viper into the Phantom Assassin, so you need some sort of break or somebody that's going to want to build MKB or Bloodthorn. So, Alchemist, bit of an interesting ban. I guess it just combos well with Backdoor Bandits.
Alchemist
more
is
AoE damage.
Actually not bad. He might be onto something. Oh, they banned it.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. They banned the Alchemist. Muerta ban going out from Backdoor Bandits. They want to target towards HK's 4 pool.
What about Troll Warlord?
I don't think that hero's been good for quite some time.
I'm looking at strats, and strats is telling me he's fine, but strats lies. So
strats also literally tells me that like all of my games that I win on Winter Wyvern, I have negative impact. So like, I
think that's a skill issue.
It's not a skill issue. Strats doesn't like particular heroes in particular roles.
No, it's also a matter of like, it's really heavily weighted in the early game, because I've had this issue too. If you like lose lanes and then don't really like one kill or one death is really punishing in strats too.
Yeah,
for, like, carries.
Strats impact
offloads.
Score is honestly such a terrible indication of how well somebody did in a game.
It's a decent one, but it's certainly not one to.
No,
it should be taken with a grain of salt.
Strats impact score exists specifically to make players that win their lanes and then lose games feel better about themselves and able to blame their teammates. Like
that is a take, and I don't necessarily disagree with it. But
like
lanes do have a huge impact, and this is just like I think we're getting into the weeds here, but like if you think about it, early leads matter a lot more per gold than later leads.
Yes.
Shadow Demon. I think
so
it has huge impacts.
If we can hold on a second, this Shadow Demon pick actually is really smart because it stops a lot of different picks coming out from Backdoor Bandits.
I mean, it is just the screw your carry pick, isn't it?
It is the screw your carry pick, but also like Demonic Purge is so useful on a lot of these heroes. I mean, Lifestealer was the last one in the pool, but going MKB on Lifestealer really does feel bad.
Yeah. I don't even think it's that good of a pick. I mean, it's fine. it'll do the job, but it certainly wasn't last pick worthy.
It's also a lifestealer into 2 universal heroes that have
Yeah.
relatively high strength and 2 int heroes and
I think it'll do fine, but it's certainly not going to win the game for him. You know what I'm saying?
So I think Lifestealer is in theory probably okay into this Magnus Shadow Demon, maybe, but Demonic Purge, Demonic Purge.
I do want to just take a
and
second.
Disruption. By the way, I
Right.
was 100% correct. This was the Dawnbreaker 5, even though Firefist hasn't picked it
Yeah.
yet. Fructus Father is picked the
5
Lion,
seconds
so
remaining.
I do want to highlight Jerbear's PA skin because that looks amazing. I don't know what that is. It's like the Arcana plus other stuff. It looks dope. I love it.
I say which Arcana. There's an Arcana and a Persona, and for some reason I categorize them as the same thing, even though they're not the same thing.
Very different. Very different.
It's the same kind of idea of like, this is like the uber special skin for this particular hero that changes everything about how they work, right? I mean, for crying out loud, one of the style unlocks for the Venge Arcana is literally a Persona, which is absolutely crazy to me.
Yeah.
By the way, I do have it. I have it equipped every game that I play Venge.
Really?
Because
You like Queen Imperia more than the default one? The style one?
she has completely different voice. She is the ultimate BM the enemy team.
Yeah, but I just kind of hate
hero.
Queen Imperia as a character. Period.
She's evil to
Well, yeah, I mean-
laughable extent. That's what makes
Yeah,
her
but
fun.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what makes her fun, though.
I know. I can see why it would be fun, but like, she's not to the laughable extent for me, I guess is what I will say. She's definitely like evil, but like in a very generic way for me. We're getting into the weeds again.
What else are we gonna? I
That's
mean,
true.
I mean, look. I think you
Prepare
need
for
to
battle.
play more Vengeful Spirit position 3.
I think we need to do a vibe check. All right, don't analyze because we haven't done much analysis because we're bad at casting. But vibe check: Dork Horse or Backdoor Bandits, based off of this team. Don't think.
I want to think. Honestly, I think it really depends on this first blood. Crash gets taken down pretty low, but so does Fire Fist. Light Strike Array swing and a miss across all the team, and Jerbear's in a bit of trouble, but he's got a shield from Crash. Nobody dies quite yet. Lethal Kittens did take Battle Hunger level 1. Fire Fist pulled in by Hina. Jerbear has a stick. Doesn't have a blink for Jimmy.
I'm gonna go Dork Horse.
Goes
Is
on a
what I'm
Fire
gonna say.
Fist.
Just gonna throw
Nice
that out there.
disruption. Stops
Is that on low
Fire Fist
ground?
in the tracks,
Wow,
and
well played.
Firefist should go down. Humble Korean
That is a
ends up
huge
getting it off with the
disruption.
Shadow Poison. Wait, that wasn't even Shadow Poison. That was a because he scaled Disruption level 1. How did he get that kill? That wasn't even an auto attack.
Don't think about
Was
it.
it one of the illusions got him? That was probably one of the illusions.
Yeah, it probably was.
The battle begins.
But my bet, Dork Horse. I think I like the draft better.
So.
Oh no, the lag, Dawnbreaker.
I don't know what you're talking about with lag. My bet for Dork Horse, or my like gut said Dork Horse, but I kind of second guessed myself. I think Backdoor Bandits has the easier draft to execute on is kind of the problem, right? We saw last game Dork Horse picked this 4P1 draft and they didn't quite get the 4 Protect 1 going the way that they needed to, and once again they've drafted very close to a 4P1 draft versus again another team fight draft with a global ultimate and a lot of 2 global ultimates if you count Cataclysm as one.
I don't know. I think both teams kind of have a similar play style. I don't think it's a 4v1 or 4-and-1 situation on Dork Horse this time around because they've got the Lina. The Lina kind of changes things.
I mean, like, but you're still playing as 4 protect your Jerbear on this Phantom Assassin who's trying to get the farm.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the one this time is Angry Sun, actually.
In terms of how we define a 4 protect 1 strategy,
I think it's flexible.
They are
that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get at is I think it's a very flexible draft versus the last draft, which I think was pretty rigid.
Perhaps.
But in terms of lanes, I think the off lane for Dork is the one to watch. I think it's going to be really difficult until Lorenzo gets some points in his abilities. I don't know the hero well enough to tell you how many points, but it is going to be, I think, a little bit rough for them for the first few levels. So I'm curious to see if they can get any catches with Skewer plus Disruption. That's always a fun combo.
Down goes Lion. As a question,
yeah.
If you infest a Dawnbreaker and she Solar Guardians, does Lifestealer go with the Dawnbreaker?
I would assume so. Which is kind of crazy. I didn't think about that.
Because if that's the case, right? Because I think you have a Lifestealer, right? Who is
it works with TPs, right?
I can't remember if it works for TPs or not.
I don't know.
You have a Lifestealer, so obviously you want some form of infest delivery on your team. You have that in an axe technically, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to play with the global ultimates the way that they did last game with the Spectre, right? Then
well, they still need somebody going on them anyways, and I don't think you want the Lifestealer and the Dawnbreaker playing in the same area, because that's a very quick and easy way to get your team split and not able to actually capitalize on any fights.
Yeah, mayhaps. Dork coming out to a much stronger start in lanes though. 17-3 Lena to 15-2 Invoker, 14-2 Magnus to 14-1, so about even there, and about even top set as well. 14-3 to 12-3. Fire Fist goes down here to the Shadow Poison, I think. No, barely regens up.
I think this Abaddon kind of neutralizes the top lane kill threat. So honestly, I think this PA, even though it's a little bit spooky, I think he's going to be relatively happy as long as he's got an Abaddon sitting behind him. So I honestly expect the decider lane to be this bottom lane. I'm curious to see if they can get some sick combos off.
I mean, HK is doing a very good job on the Shadow Demon. The thing is, like, honestly, I think their thought was picking the Lifestealer is it's probably the least bad option in the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It's the least bad option is a good way to put it.
But, because, like, no carry is a good option in the Shadow Demon, right? But I think, like having a carry that is relatively slow without their abilities and who you can deal with the illusions relatively easily as a result, before the illusions do so much damage is probably the thought process behind it. And again, you have an Infest Bomb on the axe, potentially Dawnbreaker as well, so I don't hate the pick necessarily.
They also have a lot of ways to just stall out the what's it called? Is it Dispersion? Demonic Purge. They have a lot of ways to stall it out and keep the lifesteal alive, because Invoker is going to be casting his spells, which is a lot of team fight control. You got the Lion, a lot of team fight control. You got the Axe, a lot of team fight control, and you've got the Dawnbreaker to heal him up if things get a little bit hairy. So I think that's as much as I did like the Shadow Demon pick, I don't think it's doing as much as we initially thought it's doing, just given how much they have to protect whoever gets Demonic Purged. And they really only have one target for it, and it's just the Lifestealer.
I mean, also Axe.
Yeah, but it's not very good on Axe.
I mean, you dispel counter heal X, that's actually pretty big. I was counter engaged.
Yeah. But he's already gonna be engaged, you know. Like once you get your first engage off.
But like again, if Axe blink calls and you demonic purge on top of him, he does no damage to anybody outside of what his blade mail does. Humble Korean makes his way mid. This should be a kill on the Invoker, alongside the Light Strike Array and the Laguna Blade. But Jimmy had a stick.
2 TPs.
Fire Fist comes his way in. The other TP is canceled though. HK being taken down by the Dawnbreaker. Jimmy ends up getting that kill.
I think he wanted. Yeah, I think he wanted to die to the Dawnbreaker there. That's unfortunate that he dodged it.
So
Just instinct.
taking a look at net worth, lanes are pretty much even across the board as far as net worth is concerned, but except for bot lane, which as you mentioned is kind of the lane that you got to win for Dork Horse. 2,200 net worth to 2,800 net worth. So, good job on them for winning some lanes here. Lethal Kitten's his axe. He doesn't really care about playing into a whole lot of position ones, except for I had to play Axe and a Razor the other day, and an in-house that absolutely sucked.
Yeah, that's
or
bad.
like, it really is kind of just Razor because the draw matchup can be mitigated, but like,
I mean, most matchups can be mitigated, but just like with lane manipulation.
but
But
yes,
it's still frustrating,
but like,
you know.
The Razor matchup is specifically very, very difficult.
This is what I'm talking about
Or
in top
Axe.
lane. I don't know if you just saw that, but as long as
see
this
that.
Abaddon's sitting right there,
And Angry Sun makes his way
okay.
up.
Did not know he
Kill
was
goes up.
rotating, but that's a good rotation.
Crash steals it with the Aphotic Shield. How dare he?
What a man. What a man. It was calculated is what it was.
How dare he steal the kill? Like, because that kill was being obviously donated over to the PA, too.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So what are we going? We're going Battle Fury PA. Who would have thought?
I mean, I think the items are pretty much set in stone for
Cliff him? Cliff
all
him?
these heroes. Oh,
I want to see a cliff.
yeah, but
Unfortunately, Dawnbreaker is not the one to cliff.
Dawnbreaker can get off a cliff pretty easily.
I don't care. I think you still go for it, right? That's a Invis rune on Angry Sun. He's rotating bottom.
Rotating bottom side HK. Most likely they're gonna find Fire Fist. Lorenzo level 5, but he still has a point in rage, so.
Angry Sun is having a game. This is kind of exactly what you want as a leader. Oh!
Anderson's
So
put her on
close.
vision there.
Radiant are scanning.
The TP
Dire's
comes
middle
in.
tower is under
But
attack.
Jerbear! Oh no. Okay. Okay, Rage gets out of the way of the Light Strike Array. The Hex lands on the Angry Sun alongside Fructose Father, getting the Earthspike back in. The RP lands, but the Disruption saves the Lena, and Angry Sun stays alive, but the Infest comes out and gets onto 2. Both mid laners are dead. Fire Fist being chased under his T1 tower. Jerbear's still here, pulled back in, goes back out, tries to get the stun onto Jerbear, can't quite land it as Hina gets healed up by the Crash.
Has been
And it goes 2 for 1 thus far, but they keep on moving.
That was a very clutch, what is it called? I keep forgetting. Disruption. That was a very clutch disruption on Humble
So
3.
Lorenzo is all on under his T1 tower, has no infest, but we're not gonna go for
He'll
it.
be fine.
I mean,
he's
these
a hard one to kill. But I mean, back to the Humble Korean, that dispersion, right? Disruption. Dang it, disruption. It allowed Angry Sun to get off his combo there and got the Invoker kill. Otherwise, I think that fight goes very badly for Dork Horse. Fights in the early game like this really are a game of little minuscule things like that. So really well played by him.
Yeah. Jimmy doing the standard Quas Exhort Invoker, Hand of Midas, BOTs, Aghanim Scepter. Dawnbreaker spots everybody on the map through the innate.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Is that innate good? Let's
Radiant's
discuss.
structures are fortified.
I think it's fine. I think there are better ones.
I think it's actually a very good innate.
I think it's
Getting
fine.
guaranteed vision every 10 minutes is actually,
But it's 10 minutes, you know?
but it is full map vision every 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's a broken innate, but I still think it's quite good, especially because that daytime nighttime shift is when a lot of things happen due to kind of the natural way that item progression works in the game. Your timings are typically rounded to the 5-minute anyway.
That's
so
fair.
you're able to get a refresh on the item timings, and also like that's around when teams are looking for Roshan. Typically is around when it moves to one side of the map or the other. So I think it definitely has more utility than you would think just for being full vision every 10 minutes.
That's fair. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. You've changed my mind. Because I was going to roast it. Maybe it's just useless because I'm bad. You know? You're just gonna lead me to that?
Fire Fist.
Central RP coming out? Nope. Just dive bottom. They're gonna get a T1 off of that.
They lost their T1 top though. Jerbear not sitting number 2 in net worth alongside the Magnus. Angry Sun sitting 5th, and Forest Core still Lorenzo. Jerbear's actually very happy with the start compared to the start he got on the DK last lane. Going even as a PA is very nice, and then now, like, you're just gonna get her Battle Fury and be able to out-farm this Lifestealer, who is quite a bit far behind and going armlet first item, so he's not even gonna have his Maelstrom for a while.
I think one factor in this game that we
Radiance.
haven't really discussed is the cooldown dependency that Dork Horse has versus Backdoor Bandits, because I think this Magnus kind of puts them in a
big
bit of a
stacks for
hole.
Angry Sun.
Yeah, that's huge. It's a lot of net worth for him. But I think, you know, he's got the blink. He's looking for things right now. But like once this Axe gets his blink, it's just go, 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 go. You know, they can play tempo where Dork Horse can't necessarily when RP's down.
I mean,
So
I feel like it is and it isn't, because at the same time they still have to play around Solar Guardian. They still have to play around Cataclysm once Jimmy has that.
I don't think you need to play around Cataclysm. I mean it's good.
I will say Jimmy's actually not going Cataclysm second item. He's opted for the Hurricane Pike, so going more towards that right-click Invoker style that we occasionally see from Quas Exort. The thing is, I think Cataclysm has a lot of value this game, where maybe Hurricane Pike, maybe an Ags Rush is in order, but maybe it's just Hurricane Pike Ags from him. Jerbear's got his Battle Fury though, and is taking stacks as you do on PA, going towards that BKB. And really that BKB timing, I think, is where Dork Horse is gonna want to try to start making their moves.
100%. I think especially with Lina, you don't necessarily have to get the Desolator first, because you already have a lot of damage on your team.
Yep. I will say, Lina's now sitting Forest Core. They find fire. Nope. TB's out.
Yeah. Definitely not an RP worth target, I don't think.
But Angry Sun, my point is Angry Sun
there.
is actually going to be a little bit delayed to the Aghanim Scepter this game. Because even though the lane started out pretty well, he had that death bot, and he hasn't actually been able to secure any kills in any of these fights, setting 5 assists. So
that's a feels bad. He is going to go for this. Ooh, that was close.
Yeah.
Yeah. This axe is still about 1.2k off of his blink. I think that's a huge timing for Backdoor Bandit, but it looks like they're
Hina
looking
has
to...
blink though. RP on the Lethal Kittens. We'll get the skewer back after Light Striker Ray and a Laguna Blade, but in comes the Dawnbreaker. Fire Fist turns it back on to Hina. And Lethal Kittens gets the Calling Blade for the kill. And that's the danger of going on to anybody with a Dawnbreaker support on their team.
And I think, oh Lord, I don't know. I think the Magnus into the Dawnbreaker is a little bit rough. Just period. Picking Magnus into a Dawnbreaker, I think you're just always going to have issues with it. There's not really a good solution to it. You just kind of have to eat it and hope that you can out DPS it, which I think is what they're banking on here.
Yeah. Oh, they find Angry Sun. Nobody around to save him, so should be a pretty easy kill onto the Lina. And Jamie picks that up. Now's a good time to remind any of my Twitch viewers, if you prefer to watch on YouTube, you can take a look at the League Streams channel in the AD2L Discord. There's a link to the YouTube version of the stream. Higher bitrate, higher quality. Pretty nice if you are somebody who likes the YouTube player. Although people like their Twitch, and hopefully my Twitch stream quality is now the best it's ever been in terms of actual encoding quality. I've made quite a few adjustments, have basically a second rendering PC going on for the Twitch stream alone, so let me know what you think. It is at a weird resolution, but that is the unfortunate game you have to play with Twitch.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, I think things are gonna start picking up here in a second. This Axe has his blink. Lethal Kitten looking to be a little bit more lethal, hopefully. Get a little bit more action going on here. They might catch out the Dawnbreaker on
Fairbear Invis. I mean, if you want to get a pick, Dawnbreaker might be the one to get it. Firefist though tries to TP out of the way. It's disrupted by Humble Korean, so down goes
look into the counter initiate.
Tries to self Solar Guardian. Lethal Kittens gets a massive call. RP a little bit too late there. The Light Strike away lands, but not before that Sunstrike takes down the PA. A support for a +1, not what you want if you're Dork Horse whatsoever. And another call finds Crash, but he has his ultimate. Caught by an Earth Spike. Light Strike Array on a Jimmy. They nearly take him down. The Lina gets the kill. And Lethal Kittens is a bit too far forward now. Still gets the Blade Mill on the call. Tries to take down the support, but can't quite take down Crash. And Hina finds the kill. Or HK actually gets it off the Shadow Poison, excuse me. Hina blinks for Fructose Father. Stunned up, but taken down by Angry Sun. And that fight started out so poorly for Dork Horse. Losing their PA right off the bat, but they were able to cut it out and take the victory in that fight.
I think Backdoor Bandits just got a little bit greedy with that one. Just plain and simple. I think not having vision on the Lina and still pushing, knowing that Lina had her full combo up is just a little bit dangerous.
Oh, Shield Rune. Angry Sun loves the Shield Rune.
I think everybody loves the Shield Rune.
Okay. When I say Angry Sun loves, I mean he's gone on rant after rant after rant about how stupid the Shield Rune is. Did you know the Shield Rune lasts for God knows how long?
Yes, I did know, because I've been frustrated by that before in my life. But yeah, I mean it's one of those things that like when you have it, you love it. When you don't have it, it's the scourge of your existence. So, looks like we do have a smoke bottom. Looking to do more with this blink dagger, but unfortunately, I think they're not going to find anybody. Crash is playing it safe. Plus, he's an Abaddon, so nobody really wants to go on him anyways. And Bear is happily farming his makeshift triangle. What do we call this now? This is practically a triangle, just over a lane now, right?
I mean, I still think we call it the triangle, even if the small camp's gone but not forgotten.
No, I mean, but you got the extra ancient camp now. It's not in the same location, but it's practically a triangle farming pattern, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
I say we just move the triangle somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? You just move it a little bit.
I mean, kind of one of the defining features of the Dota map is that it's rotationally symmetric and not... if I'm Firefist does have the Solar Guardian, might be able to self Solar Guardian here. Sunstrike on a Bear doesn't quite get the kill, but Firefist goes down regardless. And they're smoked up behind him, but unfortunately for Dork Horse, there is nobody behind that Dawnbreaker.
And the PA does have her BKB now.
This should be actually a quick Roshan. They have the map control for it. They know that everybody else is topside, otherwise there would have been a fight around that Dawnbreaker, so... And
they've got the timing for it, too. Even if they force a fight, I think they win it. Depending on how the initiation goes.
Magnus almost a BKB as well, only 500 gold off. Pump fake on the RP.
He loves doing that, huh?
Careful. Actually, Lina's almost to the Aghanim Scepter, too.
Okay, they do know. They've scouted it out with a Sunstrike, and now they are smoking towards
TP coming in,
and TPing in. They know.
Angry Horse. Ooh, Oh, Angry Sun doesn't quite get the light strike right the way that they want to, but Hina's on the high ground, and they don't know where Hina is right now. So if he can go in, get the RP onto 3, pull him back with the skewer, in comes the Solar Guardian, but Jerbear's already there. Gets the BKB off, takes down 2 for a double as Angry Sun picks up the rest. Fire Fist goes down on the end of the
Lorenzo got out of there so quick.
Oh man, just enraged
He saw
TP,
what was
just
going
rage
on, and he
TP
said,
away.
"Nah."
But that is,
Middle tower
that is so well played from Dork Horse, holding
Hina
Hina up
especially,
on that
yeah.
high ground,
Radiant's bottom
Very
just
well
waiting
played.
for the perfect RP, and PA jumps in after just getting the Aegis, and the Battle Fury does burr.
Yeah, I do think it was a somewhat predictable result if you TP 3 people to one particular one location. But, you know, I think that's one of those things that you do have to potentially try, because this timing is really strong on Dork Horse, giving them an Aegis free. I don't know. It's definitely not an acceptable thing you can really do. But it ends up happening anyways, and they lost 3 heroes for it. Well, 4, I think, right?
Yeah, they lose 4. They lose a T1 in the mid lane, a T2 in the bot lane, and we'll see. We saw Backdoor Bandits be stalled out quite effectively by Dork Horse in that last game. This time, the shoe is on the other foot. So we will see how Dork Horse does with the lead, and if Backdoor Bandits can get the same stall. Although Jimmy might be in trouble. HK dodges away from the tornado. Oh no, and the demonic purge on Jimmy. Goodbye.
I think there is a big distinction. I think this lead on Dork Horse this early is much higher than Backdoor Bandits had. I think this is a really scary thing to deal with. I don't think it's impossible. You have a lot of good high ground defense, but it's definitely going to be rough for the next 10 minutes, especially until this Aegis is out.
So do you, in your professional opinion,
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
want to play
What?
Guess the Gaben?
Oh, I'll give it a go. Well, it's constantly changing right now, so let's wait until they take another tower, and then we'll make a...
No, do it now. Do it now.
Do it now, right now.
Do it
It's
right
gonna
now.
change.
Before the tower falls.
Dire
They're
Alright,
not
I'm
gonna
gonna
take
give
this
it-
tower, actually.
I'm gonna give it a 73. No, I feel like it's more like... No, we'll go 73. 73% win rate in favor of Dark Horse.
76.
I was gonna go 78. Was gonna be my second, like...
Yeah,
what I
okay.
was
Well,
second
it's a
guessing,
difference of
so.
1 point in terms of how far
Yeah.
off you were, so...
Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower has
No, the tower's been taken. I mean, we see Lorenzo. I mean, he's only got a Radiance and an Armlet. Not even the Sange
Yeah.
part of the Sange and Yasha. He's feeling pretty bad right now. Angry Sun's gone his way up to 2nd in net worth. Also crashes doing ABBA things. This is one of those games where after you get your Solar Crest on ABBA and potentially... Well, he skipped the Magic Wand upgrade. I can't remember
They're
the
looking
name
for a
of it right
pick.
now.
They know the PA's top. They're looking for
Smoke,
somebody.
Kittens,
Yeah.
Infest, bomb on a HK. I mean,
That's a
is
really-
that really worth the Infest, though? They might find Hina. Meatball
It
comes
completely
down. Hina
stalls out their push.
BKBs,
If they can
gets
get in and
taken
get out.
by Lethal Kittens, but they end up losing their support for it. I mean, Jerbear, what do you even do here?
Oh, they found
Tornado on
Alina.
Alina, Angry Sun, caught in a call. Lorenzo's here, but Jimmy gets caught by Jerbear on the top side of it. Still, they take down Angry Sun, and Jerbear has to BKB TP out of the way.
That was an amazing read by Backdoor Bandits. That was such a good read to see the majority of Dork Horse be in the dire side. Is it dire side? Am I being weird? No, it's dire side. Dire side mid lane, and then PA be really far up on the top lane there. So I don't know. That was just a really good call by them to smoke up and take their chances there. That was exactly the thing to get them back in this game.
Little Kittens finds HK, but he's stalled out by Crash, and in comes the RP. Oh, no.
It do be like that sometimes.
Dated on a free support and an infest on a ancient ice shaman to. Oh no, but Angry Sun's here.
Wait, what's up?
Well, look at the infest, Lorenzo.
Oh, I couldn't find the invest. I see it now.
If you double click on the hero portrait, it'll bring you to him, even if he's infested.
Yeah.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Or you hit, if you just hit the one key twice on your home or your main keyboard, one key, not your numpad one.
Kidding.
Although,
Didn't know that
wait,
was a
hold
thing.
on. Actually, do you have a full-size keyboard? I feel like you're the type to do at least 10 keyless, if not 60%.
I don't know what that means, but yes, I have a full-size keyboard.
Okay. Well, look, I'm just a little bit curious. All right.
Wait, what did you think I had?
For some reason, I thought you had like a 10 keyless, which basically is
that
without
like...
the numpad.
Oh no, I like the numpad. I'm a big fan of that. Use that for work. Lorenzo got out of there again. Good read.
I too am a big fan of the numpad. I just like a lot of people dislike the numpad because they want more desk space or something like that.
I mean, more desk space wouldn't be bad, but I think I'm not willing to give up the
a lot of gaming keyboards, and I say gaming because like it's a lot of the pre-built ones that are marketed towards gamers, but it's also a lot of mechanical keyboards in general are 10 keyless or what are called 60%, which takes out the numpad and all the keys above the and all the keys above the arrow keys. And like they merge the arrow keys back in. A lot of laptops have a 60%. Actually, no numpad.
I gotcha. So, one thing to look for: this PA's almost got satanic, and they're catching an axe, which is huge if they can get him killed.
Goodbye.
That is
and the
massive.
Solar Guardian. There's no way out of this for Fire Fist. Just feeding a second kill over.
That might be high ground right there.
And an RP.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
That fell apart real quick.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Dark Horse picks a draft that Dark Horse bans the heroes that are broken, and we see the result. They also picked the other broken hero that was still available. So,
I mean, I do think that Backdoor Bandits did find a really good read there, but just unfortunately got caught out because Dork Horse was, I think they just had their number a little bit there. Especially the axe. The axe is like huge. He's like most of their high ground threat. So taking him out early, it's just, I mean, it enables this. Now, I don't think that that's game. I will say, they do have a lot of ways to come back into this. It's rough.
Think it's game. I think it's game
really?
right now.
You think it's flat game?
Do we want to play Guess the Gaben right now?
Yeah, I'll play Guess.
What you got?
82.
85. I knew it was above 80. We are almost.
Telling you.
Almost in schlacking territory. We are about 600 gold per minute worth of lead on Dork Horse. All three of your cores are top 3 net worth. Both of your supports are significantly more farmed than the enemy supports. And the pressure is continually on. Lorenzo, I mean, he has Aghanim Scepter now.
Oh, and they might find him.
Yeah, Jerbear, Invis, comes back in, gets infested, but that's actually what Jerbear wants. That's what I was saying. Lorenzo has the Aghanim Scepter. I don't think it really matters because he gets slowed up, broken away. Down he goes. Still Jerbear. Might be in a little bit of trouble. Has the BKB up. Doesn't choose to use it. Also a Satanic for Dispel if he wants to. But I think Jerbear is just way too far ahead right now. They're playing for the next Aegis, which is up, by the way. Sunstrikes spots it out, but
yeah, I feel like once they get the Aegis, though, this is pretty much over. It's like a 95% game at that point.
Yeah,
because I think the only real threat is that Jerbear gets killed. Once Jerbear dies, like, I don't know. I feel like it's not as easy. I mean,
you still have Alina who has an Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, but Lena dies.
Courier has a sheep stick. And
Lena still does. She doesn't have BKB. She doesn't have any defensive items. It's really the Jerbear one that you want to go for, but they're gonna get this this Aegis anyway, so none of that matters.
no E-Blade on Angry Sun though. Went straight for Sheep Stick after Aether Lens.
He knows what he's about. Getting a Sheep Stick out of vision enables him to solo kill this Lifestealer, which is you know, that's a huge win condition for them. So.
Sheep Stick for Lifestealer, always a very good pickup to have.
Yep. Now the real question is how disciplined are the Dork Horse going to be? Are they just going to run it? I think they could. But the question is are they feeling strong enough to just go high ground? Are we going to be in for a bit of a boring game here? I will say this. I do think that I have mixed feelings about it. I do think that the way to play proper Dota right now can be a little bit boring, just because you actually have to like really be disciplined and get a huge net worth lead just because of how difficult it is to take high ground. But I also like how difficult it is to take high ground and the comeback mechanic side of it. So I don't know.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I digress.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ooh, I tapped out.
I mean, they're just pushing the high ground. It's they're, what do they even do here, right? They
I mean,
smoke
the only
behind.
thing
They're gonna try
they
to
can't do anything. Yeah,
take down Jerbear, but like
they
again,
actually
you
cannot
have
do
nothing
anything.
that pierces evasion right now. On your
The
team.
only thing you can do is cut waves. That's about it.
Yeah.
Because if Axe
Jerbear's
initiates right now, they're just going to get counter-initiated.
Wow,
Wow, he's in.
Jerbear blinks back up. Lorenzo's here,
There
and
it
an
is,
RP
yep.
on two brings them right back around. But Lethal Kittens might find a support. Fructose Father tries to take him down, but HK survives. Lorenzo goes down. Not even an Aegis, and all five die for one buyback on the Dawnbreaker.
I think that's just a GG, right?
When prop, 94%. Yes.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Dork Horse taking the disciplined approach, just going for the megas.
Well, they don't have the quickest tower push yet. They still have a lot, but, you know, not 20 seconds a lot to finish the game, so. But I do think this game is firmly over. But at the end of the day, I mean, both teams came out 1-1, and game one was a really exciting, close one. And at the end of the day, you know, game two, I feel like was just a matter of timing. Dork Horse really played to their timing well, got the picks that they needed to, got the early fight that they wanted, and really just snowballed it into a better game. So,
let's get that from Hina and Lethal Kittens. Gets on the two, but he's disrupted up. They might find the Magnus, and they do. Hex on the Jerbear, but there's just too much damage. He still has the Aegis. He doesn't even go down until Lorenzo infests him. It's still 4v4, and the Megas are up. Jerbear blinks away to HK. Angry Sun on the
signs
side.
of life.
Using the Aghanim Scepter. Might be looking around for somebody. And Jerbear.
Oh, there's the basher.
Bashes right onto Jimmy, gets the break back out with the Fan of Knives. Angry Sun still here, doesn't get the Light Strike Array as the Infest is once again on the Jerbear, but Angry Sun is taken out Fire Fist. Jimmy is trying to survive, but he gets taken down by Crash's Q.
Angry Sun might die.
Him into the Burrow of Time. Angry Sun stays alive. He's got Naba.
He was 60 HP. He was almost dead.
Calculated.
Yeah.
Now it's 4v3.
I think Megas this early is still really rough, though.
I mean, we are almost at 1,000 gold a minute worth of lead. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I respect the attempt, but I don't have much faith. I'm not gonna lie. So what are your hot takes for next patch? Give me your hot takes.
Broken Heroes to be nerfed. I think people are going
That's
to
not
realize.
a hot take.
People are going to realize that. I mean, I already kind of said it. I think people are going to realize that Ice Dragon Ice Facet DK is actually pretty good. And we might start seeing some of that. Probably 2-3, not 1, just because it doesn't have the same farming capabilities. But I think that is kind of my hot. That is my mildly hot take. Because my mildly hot take was a couple patches ago was people sleeping on spell damage Lina. And then, lo and behold, spell damage Lina. Lethal Kittens finds HK. They aren't able to take him down as Crash just goes ahead and pops his ult with the Aghanim Scepter. Hina does not get the RP down, though.
I was like, was that a
Still,
whip?
the Light Strike Array lands, as well as the Laguna Blade, trying to take down Lorenzo. Gets the Kidnap back around with that Horn Toss. Hexed up is the Life Stealer. Jerbear gets the Satanic off, heals back up to full. Buyback from the Life Stealer. 3 dead, 1 bot back. Jimmy broken up, taken down.
There
GG called, and Dork Horse take game number 2. And as you mentioned, you've got, you know, playing the timings from Dork Horse worked out well for them. Also, it helps that they had a winning lane to play this time around in that off lane. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to have an interview with Angry Sun, the Dork Horse captain. So you won't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. With me, I have the winner of game number 2 of the series, captain of Dork Horse, Angry Sun. How are you doing after the 1-1?
You know, I think early game, like, or early season, I should say, you kind of just like learn a lot about your team, and you kind of like play more and more together, and kind of figure out what works, what doesn't. And I think that Backdoor Bandits had a really good strategy game 1, and really kudos to them. And I think we're kind of like figuring it out still. You know, we're definitely in the growth phase, which, but I'm very happy where we're kind of heading at the moment.
Yeah, I guess I'm really curious to see how you guys took the end of game 1, because I know me and Finnick both were biting our nails. That was a very close game. It was basically the deciding factor was whether or not you guys got a kill on that Viper or not, and it didn't work out for you guys. So how did you guys rally back around, refocus, and really come out swinging in game 2?
Yeah, it's like a confidence thing, you know, like we really try and like preach like being PMA and being like resetting and like taking it one game at a time. I know that sounds a little cliche, but kind of the point of that being like even after like a I don't know if I want to use the term, a very, very hard game 1, we'll say, right? Like very back and forth. Usually what we do is kind of reset, say, all right, like, you know, this is where we messed up, this is where we're going to adjust, and then, you know, play with confidence still, because, you know, if you believe you're the best team or the better team, you should just play with confidence and not really worry about the results like that.
And, you know, speaking about game number 1, we thought it was a little bit odd that you let them have Lena and Spectre and Lich. So kind of what were your thoughts draft-wise on letting those heroes through over to Backdoor Bandits?
We knew they like wanted global stuff. It's just a little bit of a I would say a misdraft by me, obviously. I think that I was underestimating our early game timing and how much we were able to kind of put them in the dirt early so that they don't get this like quick Lena pickoff timing. They found some really good kills. They were doing a really good job getting vision deep and then just running this down, and that kind of made shit hard. So I would say like our draft was kind of overestimating like the power of my rotations and like punishing their, I would say, slower start with like Lena Spectre, and then they were able to find pickoffs once they hit their, like, I think it was like 18-20 somewhere around there, and that just made game pretty hard.
Now, I know you did just sell yourself short here, but I'm gonna hype you up because I have a question for you. There was a sick ultra kill you got in game 1, right? Where I thought, oh, this fight is going bad for Dork Horse. There's no way they recover this. And then I see you turn around, and you, as the madman you are, you boulder straight towards them. What was going through your head through that moment? How did you know that was going to end up the way it did? And I guess, like, how did you feel afterwards? Because I'm sure that was a great feeling.
I actually didn't feel too different. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the game was going a little sideways even then, so it was like a, oh, thank God kind of feeling. But
okay,
only
relief.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with the Earth Spirit, it's pretty easy. If Magnetize is going, you fight. Like, you just like the spell's too broken. You just gotta play around Magnetize. If it's up, keep going, poke it down.
Even level 1 though.
Even level 1, bro. It's like a little worse, but you get the resonance talent. You get a bunch of damage. It's very good.
Okay.
And yeah, that's all I would say. If anyone's aspiring to play Earth Spirit, just play with Magnetize, hit people with it. Very good. Spell's broken.
And as my former co-caster, you know what this last question is going to be. Game 1 and game 2, overall in the series as well. Let me know who your MVP is for each game and why.
It's a good question. I think game 1, I'm going to go to HK. I think he made a lot of good macro calls, which I really appreciated. And I think he got a lot of really good spell steals, was able to kind of, especially into Spectre, like played as best as he could. Obviously, Spectre and his support's very broken. And so both supports were not having a good time, but I think HK, and I mean everybody, of course, but I think HK particularly played really well like around that. And then I think game 2, I'm going to give it to my boy Jerry. He is a very good player. He hits creeps. He hits timing. He will win game for you. And I mean, what else do you want from a position 1? You know, he kind of put the game on his shoulders. He had like I think it was 13-minute battle fury or something ridiculous like that. And he just kind of slapped him around. He showed him why he's one of the best carries.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck in the rest of the season. And with that, we're going to ending the stream for the night. I don't think there are actually any AD2L streams still up because that first game was a massive barn burner. But until next week, my name is Infinite. That's been Oblivion KC, and we will see you around.
Bye.